got some strength here in crypto, but obviously, you know, we're selling off a little bit since the highs there, Joey. But what really caught my attention, I think you and I both, was the strength of solar. You're seeing a lot of green here, guys, and Solar Edge is up 125% year to date. Enphase is up 96. So something's afoot here with these solar names, even though President Trump, not a big fan, nor is the administration at large of solar. Spotify is up 16.5%.
Dang.
What the hell? So but it's still in a downtrend, to be fair to Spotify. But yeah, those are some of the major names that I'm seeing here on the watch list. It's a great day for the long term, an absolutely horrible day for me intraday trading, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. And we'll see everybody tomorrow, I guess. And thank you so much, guys, for the ridiculous amounts of super chats. I'm super pumped for the fish and chips. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't had it in a hot minute. And so we're gonna do it live on the show.
Yeah, we're gonna do it live, man.
Hopefully, do it live?
Yeah, let's make sure we do it, man.
Yeah, so we gotta make sure Ram goes and picks it up.
I just want, again, we'll send it off now. 2-0. Yeah, Ram gonna get that here. We'll put it on.
We love you, Ram.
Put it on her card. Dragos, thank you. S14 Johnny. We have Dragos once again. Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Thank you all. We'll head over. Casey, we're gonna get to her. Trader GIF, everyone. Phoenix, welcome. We have Mark. We'll skip this guy right here, and then we have Casey sending multiple memberships. Everything Brew, Mopar. STK, you see what I did? Oh, you STK trader, Wolf, Everything Brew, everyone just sending absolute cash. Deep Cheeks AI, Casey, Nicola, my girl, thank you very, very much for the burger funds there. We're gonna go Oppo, what these guys have got going on, and Walter Ford.
Neo,
Neo's
long Neo at 543. Look at the Katina man just ramping in
ready to go,
NVIDIA.
man. He's rocking in.
You're short Microsoft? Oh, boy, Katina man. Katina man is short Microsoft at 420. All right, guys. That's another $1 in the money there. What a guy, bro. All right. Good seeing you guys. We'll see everybody for Friday. Take care.
Fish and chips.
Yeah, that was a Dara's pick, so that will be happening.
Why not?
Tomorrow.
I heard something about cookies at some point, so maybe I misheard it, but I thought for a second I got real excited, like we were gonna get some cookies tomorrow that you could get like from a crazy bakery or something along those lines.
Maybe, we'll see.
Maybe dessert. We could always use a little bit of dessert. What we can also use is an update, everybody, out of Origenics, because we need to hear about OGEN on the NYSE American. They've activated their Phase 2A clinical trial in Australia, with its first site fully operational and patient dosing expected next. They're developing ONP-002, an intranasal treatment targeting concussion and mild traumatic brain injury, an area where there are currently no FDA-approved therapies. Alongside that, Origenics has spent the past year strengthening its balance sheet, raising capital, resolving liabilities, and restoring exchange compliance. The focus now shifts to execution, with clinical progress underway and additional CNS assets under investigation. Shout out to OGEN. I want to thank them for sponsoring the next hour of this show to take you into the power hour at some point. Speaking of power, arm power is one way to go. Right, like whether you're lifting things, you could be arm wrestling, you could be a boxer, or you could just be up 13% again. And now its move is complete. I'm not saying the move is done, but if you take the range that this sat in for 2 years, it basically broke that and then did it to the upside. Unbelievable. ARM 290. I love this stock. I love that stock.
Yeah, ARM has been unbelievable. Look, man, I mean, this NVIDIA, like all of a sudden, it just absolutely took off. Like this Q's trade, just like, I mean, took off. The NASDAQ really got going here. We just been trading Microsoft, NVIDIA, and the Qs. So yeah, good trading today for sure. As we talk about all of the names going up and down. What am I getting a note here about Alibaba? I don't know if some of these Chinese names are also battling back up there, but apparently some sort of a ceasefire, some agreement being drawn up here between Iran and the United States. So I guess we'll just have to wait. Baba down 2%, which is why we're looking at it, but we're gonna have to wait to see what the legitimacy of that is there. You can see USO also on a run. I mean, I know those guys were just having a lot of fun and not really trading too much there in the midday show, but that's their thing. There's the move down, 147 down to 141. So that would have been quite the short to have on board there for the USO. And pretty good short, too. I mean, there's your 50-period moving average, holding, bang, down there to the downside. We're $3 in the money here on NVIDIA and looking to get out, honestly. We've been getting out all through here, all at VWAP. Now, if it breaks a little lower, we can start to tap out on that one. And then Microsoft, we're not even making any money on this because we went short there, got out at VWAP, and then took it back through again. You know, could have waited a little bit longer, I guess, but I didn't even think it was coming up to VWAP there, so I had my stop there and unfortunately got triggered out and then right back into that. So, yeah, we'll have to wait. Microsoft early was trying to get the longs on that one, and then we flip over into the short now. As I just wanted to short a market, short a name that, you know, has been going opposite of the market all day. So when that started to happen there, I was thinking like, okay, let's like average into that short, and then boom, goes a dynamite. So pretty ugly looking chart there for Microsoft for me, but we'll wait to see if it comes back in right now into 418. I mean, we've been covering it there. I'm waiting for a break now of 418, see if we can get it. So right now we're just bouncing off the 50 period. We'll obviously like to see a break. There's 418, and then right into here is where we're sitting right now, 417.80. So exactly at the 200 period moving average. Let's just wait to see. And it's so funny because on the midday, we got a whole bunch of super chats from Wolf there, who I'm not sure if he's in right now or not. And the funny thing is he was down $8,500 or something on the NVIDIA calls. And then, you know, Joe, everybody was like, yeah, just dump them and work on the next trade. I guess he didn't. And then it ripped up, and then all the super chats started to come in. So congratulations, man. I was with you cheering this thing on, and we just covered a bunch of it on the way up. Did not really expect this kind of a dramatic move in AMD. So, or sorry, in NVIDIA. And
speaking of AMD,
that's what I was just thinking about it. So AMD didn't get back to green either. So we'll have to wait.
It did V-shape.
Yeah, they've all been great. I mean, all the stocks look like this. I mean, we bought some IBM at 432 or whatever it was, something 32.
Pretty much everything.
232. Yeah. Look at that, man. We bought IBM on this move right down there. We talked about that. We said we wanted to get some quantum names. I added to my long-term. Actually, I'm not even sure what account I put it in, but we were able to buy right there. And I just did simple math, and we talked about that. It was up from 224 into 240. So I was like, you know what, let's put that down about $12 or so. We got, I think it was 233, but I did it in Canada. So not sure which exactly. I can check the price I got in the Canadian CDR. But yeah, there goes IBM on quantum. So that's, I mean, the last couple buys that we've had, we have ARM at 201, and then we have IBM down there today as well, and that 230 marker. So yeah, so far so good. $1.80 now on Microsoft trying to pull back in. Needed to break through 418.
That's weird. We have all, because we can pull up the CDRs here, like live, like level 2s, but the G Vernova one, I can't. It exists. I know it does, because I have it, but I actually can't call that one up, which is weird, because I was just looking for it. That bounced off of, anyways, context matters, Neil. Bury the lead. G Vernova bounced off the 50-period moving average. And I was like, oh, I want to see where that is in the one that I own. I'm like, no. I can't, which is kind of frustrating. The only trade I'm in is, well, I can review, going to, because when I left you, I was like, Tesla needs to get to VWAP, but it held that 418, so when it held the 418, threatened the trend, jumped out at the 418 off the 414 long, had a couple of scalps on NVIDIA, down off the 18 into 220, just the inside of the range, and then NEO trend broke. So NEO was one of those all day long. They reported this morning, by the way, NEO, not that, I guess not that many people paid attention. I guess the buyers didn't pay attention on NEO either. Yikes. So it broke the trend after holding this double bottom at 540 and played into VWAP. Now it's just hold the trend line, which will probably coincide with it breaking this candle under VWAP. Just going to hold on to it. It's the afternoon, so Chinese ADRs tend to go to sleep. Probably not going to be a new trade in this stock at all. The one I'm watching, the thing I'm watching right now is, well, what chip stock looks different from some of the others? Down 1.4% without, I don't know what reason it has to be down 1.4% SMCI. Barely above the volume weighted average price. The market's breaking out, and it looks like it can be a bit of a fade. So I want to play for a breakdown on SMCI under the volume weighted average price. So that's the one I'm watching here today. But the star of the day is ARM. And I took a couple of stabs at this to the south side. like in here on a bit of a trend break in VWAP, tight stop, in here again, tight stop, looking for it to break down when I saw everything else, and thank goodness you get away from it. That's the whole idea. You got to be able to get away from the trades. And if you stay disciplined, then, you know, you string a few wins together and you're able to get green. I said it in the lesson of the day, a keystroke in Intel is the reason I won't, because I had twice as much as I wanted, and therefore that sucked, is what it is. But you got to move on to the next, because that's all you can do. I think the big reaction that we're going to wonder about, because one day doesn't mean a lot. NVIDIA's down a point today, but we've seen in the past NVIDIA get exactly this type of reaction. Everyone says all the concerns, maybe the concerns about the inventory, maybe the concerns about the circular funding and all, whatever, I don't know, shade you're throwing at it, for lack of a better term. And then for about a week or two, NVIDIA falls after earnings, and then the dip buyers come in. So on that note, I think you just got to be patient. The strength will come back. Unless we have some kind of a market event, I think that's when something changes in the market overall, like the bullishness, then you'd be in trouble with the AI names. Otherwise, stick to the course. Super chat from Nick Dubs, if we can throw that one up there. From Nick. Oh, I can get there if you want. Oh. There it is. I wasn't on the page. Oh. Hey guys, hope trading is going well. Circling back to the super chat from earlier, wondering your thoughts on, so I said Sharif called critical metals caramel, but apparently he calls it criminal. Yeah, so I don't know. One of those two things is, I think, positive, because who doesn't like caramels? Like, they're delicious. Criminal. Well, Sharif just said, I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean,
Apple was
literally
the dead
calling
one.
it criminal. And Apple was the dead one. Like, one of the greatest companies in the history of the universe was called the dead one. And for no apparent reason, critical metals gets thrown under the bus. Look, for Corning is great. I don't know if anyone around here would say a bad thing about Corning, but you could make the argument that this has not been the best name, critical metals. But I do like that trend break that it's putting on, 50 and 200 hold, upward sloping 50 and 200 moving averages. It's still a bit of an inside kind of move, like breakout and then fade back into prior high. So it's more holding the break than anything else, but I like the look of it. I've said before, and I said it this morning, I'm more of an MP guy, not military police. MP Materials is the one that I own. I'd love for it to do something better than hold $50. I'd say similar profiles where you had your run, you had your pullback. Now they're just kind of going sideways and trying to glide higher. But they're starting to look good again. And obviously, they're not what they were like half a year ago when they were going absolutely parabolic. They're in a consolidation phase. But the thing about consolidations, they're fantastic when they break. It's the longer they are, the better the break is. Just ask ARM.
Bull. Yeah, Webull reporting there. Right. Here's that Canadian. I got filled 34.73 there today. So in this little malaise early with IBM, and we just talked about, you can get many different names. There's Meta, there's a whole bunch. There's Microsoft, and anything is pretty much, if you're in the top 100 or whatever names, liquidity-wise, you can get found here on the Canadian side of things, the CDR. Canada going to go 24 hours as well soon, so that should be exciting. For everybody looking at 24-hour trading. Okay, so yeah, look, I talked about this earlier. I think Webull does have a good chance to get back up there to the upside. Chinese, obviously, ownership there on Webull. Chinese markets, I don't know exactly what percentage of all of their markets are what kind of proportion of trading. We got hit on Robinhood because of poor crypto numbers, and I don't think they'll be any better here. Like I said, no one's actually, the talk of crypto on this show, the talk of crypto, in general, I think has died down. So I'm not sure that Webull is going to have a good report this time around. I'm just kind of interested in it because it's barcoding at this area right there and with a chance to move upside. So, Webull recently just came here into the Canadian markets. Don't think that that's going to move the needle at all, obviously. But I do think that the PDT rule, with more active trading, that's why, we talked about Robinhood and their dependency on crypto, but with PDT now gone, you have $2,000 minimum and then there's those different rules. It's going to take 45 days for those to come in, and I think that was probably 25 or so days ago. So you're getting ready for all that to be implemented. I really do think that Webull does have upside possibilities here. So, yeah, I like the number today at $7. We'll see if it comes back into 6. I mean, there's that gap fill that you're talking about. If it comes back into there, look for that to hold. If we don't hold, I mean, that's really going to have to come in to get 6. Right, and so I think if you put a bid there, 650, something like that, and you get filled, you may be okay with the end result there, whenever happens with Webull. So let's be patient with it. I think there's still a good chance for that one to print if you are long, and we are just moments away here from getting another fill for that $2 mark right now on Microsoft. I'm at 417.80. So we'll just sit there. I'm just putting bids out. Liquidity is good on this name, but you can see there's a lot of dark pool prints. So shout out to Webull and all those companies there. That there's a reason why they can charge you for trading, and that is because they're sort of skimming a little bit here off some of these percentage, in betweens and all that kind of stuff, and routing and different deals with other, sell side that you don't get to see. So, but anyways, Microsoft, the market's starting to go. So here we go. Let's get that 417.80. See if we can get it. We emptied out on NVIDIA. We already talked about that. Now it might even be a reload spot there. And our TQQ, same kind of way. We're very, very light on all of these. I have 5 times the shares on Microsoft. So hopefully that one will come in and we get that fill very soon here at 417.80.
The other side of that was We Ride, I think. Super chat.
WRD, I saw that.
Yeah, that's basically, I don't know, that feels like you're a shot play here for automated driving, really, in China. They have licenses in the U.S. as well, I suppose, but it's a shot play that
WeRide is in North Bay.
Is hoping. Yeah, no, they're out here.
That's in Canada, yeah.
They are here too. Like they've got the UAE, they've got other places. It's just it hasn't been doing much of anything. I just think when you have something like that, you're going for like a binary. Hey, this could 4 or 5x, and you know what you're getting yourself into, right? Like it's a hat size, and usually you're a hat size for a reason. But it's basically held the same low at $6 for the last year. Almost, yeah, basically the last year. I mean, obviously, you go back to this low, it's like April. So that's pretty much exactly 1 year that you've held the same bottom. But it is trending down pretty decently going into it. So the risk to reward, you feel like the shot play, fine, but there's been plenty of not working names in this space. Like Uber hasn't done jack for anybody in a while, and this hasn't really been any different. But I think you could do worse. Let's just say, but I'm not a huge fan going into the print. We do have another super chat, but before we get to that, we're breaking SMCI is breaking VWAP. So I want to see a close under VWAP here. It's already broken the trend line, but that was kind of tight to VWAP. So I want to look for an entry just underneath the volume weighted average price here on that bad boy. And Trade Sniper says June the 8th, the PDT rule. I guess that's coming up.
June 8th. Okay, that's quicker than I thought.
Yeah. It's funny, like time really flies and then you forget about these things. Because you tell me June and now all of a sudden we're just thinking about SpaceX. But that PDT rule, I wonder, like we talk about how much is baked in or not baked in. You gotta wonder if you're like Robinhood or you're Webull or any of these, like, is anybody baking the PDT rule as a positive into the price action that has done nothing the entire year? So like the hope would be that maybe nobody is actually baking this in. Because like if this ends up being a sell the event, like this is supposed to be a big catalyst for the group, well, sell the event breaks you down through support on Robinhood, which would really suck on Robinhood, because I bought this consolidation. And man, if you get a positive headline or positive story or positive theme, and then you lose support on that, that's about as bearish as it gets. Anyways, we had a super chat up there that I was going to get to before I digressed over to Robinhood. I think, at least I saw one. There it is. Rafael Mija Valencia. NVIDIA looks like a head and shoulders on the 1 hour from May 20th, from yesterday, on a 1 hour chart. So I believe you. But I am going to look. Drop it down, go to my E-signal, go to the 60.
Drop it down.
Drop it. Whoa. You know what? It's probably going to look better or cleaner on a 15. I just think you're going to get a better look on the 15-minute.
What are we looking for? NVIDIA?
The head and shoulders look.
Oh, you're the chart.
I mean, you can always squint to find it. and a couple of lower shoulders, and then you do have a flat bottom that you could break down.
I'm trying to get out of NVIDIA. I mean, if that's any help to anybody.
Yeah, like if you zoom it out this far, because you said from the 20th, but I think it looks more. I think more that like that look would be from this high, and then it's kind of like this ridiculously elongated shoulder that broke there, and then the support's at the 218. That's where it bounced today. So as long as it holds at 218, it's not disaster yet. And yeah, you're setting lower high resistance. That's the more important thing, whatever. The idea is lower high resistance into a flat bottom at 218, which is probably what you're getting at. So in that case, like I would agree with that assessment. It's just a matter of can it hold on? It's day one after earnings. Don't overreact to day one after earnings. If important support levels get held, fantastic. I'd say the same thing about Walmart having an absolute disastrous day. Oh, you said from May 20. That makes way more sense. Okay, you meant from May 12th. Yeah, see, that's what I was seeing too. That's why I went to a 15-minute. There you go. That makes more sense, right? Like there's your shoulders. They don't have to be aligned, but there's your head. But you still have to break down in these high teens. I think that's the big theme. Has to break down from there.
Yes, I don't know, Andre. Like, there's been some complaints about Neil's mic. I don't know if it's any better or worse, but Andre, let us. Well, yeah, just do whatever you have to do there, and we'll see if it can get fixed. We do want to thank everybody for all those super chats, man. I mean, it was a great battle back and forth on the chat there on the midday with a couple of super chats coming in and some fun stuff happening. So to Dragos over there. I hope that and Wolf. I hope that most of your trades have become either made a little bit of that back, and I know that there was. You were down almost $9,000 there on NVIDIA. I hope we were able to capture a lot of that out. Now it's come right back in a little bit into the 200 period moving average. So, just to answer some of those questions, I'm getting out right now, and I'm trying to fade the piece deal with what I thought was a weak stock. So here comes Microsoft right back in. We'll see if we can continue to print on that one. Now that I'm seeing, like, as I'm calling this up and looking at it with you, okay, well, there it goes. We just put a bid at 80 and it got filled immediately when I put it there. So we'll cover a little bit more here at the 200 period. I still have a much bigger position waiting to come out at we could wait for it. It's 417.55s. I put a bid. I just changed the share size because I got out of some there at 80s. So we'll see if that comes back in. We'd like to get that fill right into here, right? That's 50s. So if we can come into that level, and then we'll come right back into this level, 417. So those are kind of, what I'm hoping for on Microsoft, if there's a little bit of weakness. All right, so we still are into the TQs. Let's take this opportunity again. Okay, there we go. Just punch out 10s there and get a little bit out because we are now trying to battle a little bit back up into that 50-period moving average. This has been, I think this would be, this is my P&L, obviously. Too many executions on NVIDIA for it to be P&L number one, but TQs was very clean. So all the way to the upside there, just kept on going and going and going. And, we were able to get a little piece out right there against that top. Never really made it into that level, so we didn't get any more fills. Came back, obviously, from the gym today where we went swimming. And then we was 75.60, 75.80. Nice move back there up to the upside as we wait to see if there is more downside pressure here into the market. And then, I don't know, I didn't hear the guys talk really at all about Walmart during the midday, so I wasn't sure about the price. And there it is, nice little bounce back off of 120. So it does not go SSR today, still down that 6.5%. That and John Deere were on people's minds earlier as potential dip buys. And look at that, there goes John Deere. What a great dip buy that was.
Deere made way more.
514.
Deere, to me,
it's nice.
The difference between Deere and Walmart was one of those two actually had a good report.
Right, of course.
Yeah, like Walmart guided poorly. Like you couldn't, like there's a subjectivity and nuances sometimes when you're talking about like an earnings report. I don't think there was with this case. Like the revenue beat for Deere was somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 20% relative to expectations. And maybe the year-over-year growth wasn't as good as you would want, but whatever. Maybe the valuation isn't as cheap as you would like. Someone just asked why Nike is going up. So two things. One, it went up yesterday. Two, there was that Drake KD ad. I don't know. Like that's the only reason we had that we could give you for why Nike was going ham. And I wish I had stayed long, but didn't. Why it went ham was there was that Drake KD ad, which also happened to drop, and Nike's making a bottom. Maybe it's technical, but Lululemon was also up. So my guess is you'll probably see a similar chart today between Nike and Lululemon. Sort of, yeah, they're both pretty strong. So this could just be technical bottom getting made in some of these names and a little sympathy money rolling into Nike and Lulu. I didn't think Nike was going to be this strong. Let's be real. Trig Trades, thank you for the Boyle idea earlier. Stuck with it through the dip. Ended up with a 40 similar, not parabolic, but good trade for this newbie. Hey, congratulations. Yeah, you know what? I probably gave up. I didn't take the fill, which is annoying. I watched it over and over again, that 10:30, and just wasn't willing. Every single day, basically, when I was looking at it, it went right away. Like the reversion happened at 10:30, and there was no nuance to it. Effectively, what it did is the up break just happened a little bit later, and then it went. So I wasn't very open-minded about it. I literally set a stop for the break of the high and said if it happens at 10:30, I'm just going to punch long, like binary. And when it didn't, I just kind of didn't look at it anymore. So that was probably, there's always nuance to these trades, but I was looking for that instant break, and I was only looking for it right away. But that's even better. It rinsed some people at the bottom, and then the breakout happened like through VWAP in here when it breaks the trend. The idea really is you're just looking for like a reason and a catalyst and a pattern and all that kind of stuff. So, and the Amex has been fantastic here at Real Trading. So I was just guessing that maybe that's what people were doing and was looking for an execution, and that's all you can ever try to do. Maybe we'll find something at the close today too in the last 20 minutes of the session. So anyways, back to brass tacks. Still nothing on SMCI. NEO, it's either a trend break or we're just going to fill the gap into this 574 area, which coincides with, hey, there's a close, there's resistance. There is a pre-market bottom all around the 575. So I'm holding, now that it's broken VWAP, the hold is to here, or the other way I get out of it is just to simply trend out. So this is like a moving target because no one's coded hey, if I draw a trend line, can I put a trailing stop on it? You could code that probably pretty easily.
Yeah, of course.
Or someone says vibe code, but I'll just keep moving it every 10 minutes or so. Don't really expect anything too crazy because it's Chinese ADR and it's the afternoon. They tend to go to sleep. And they'll drift. Like it's still drifting higher, so we're just going to hold on to it. But you're getting that test now of VWAP, it looks like, on SMCI. It didn't hold under the first time. Now it has a chance to. And I want to look for this one to the south side. One of the few chip names, it doesn't look very good today. If you're chip name and you're down more than NVIDIA, that's not good.
That might not be good.
Not good.
I'm going to break $300 at some point here. There it is, man. Thank you for bringing up Ricardo. We got a face slapper now. We're finally back to flat on Big Bear AI right now. 420 is the price that I'm in at. So we're going to have to wait to see what happens now with Big Bear AI. That's zoomed in way too much there. Yeah, I mean, it still needs to get going. This is a good level. I mean, it just once again bounced off the 50-period moving average. So Big Bear AI from middle of April to middle of May, basically, bouncing off. So you've sort of got a little bit of a development there through, what's been a technical level. So that's a good one. That's 390. I guess if you bought that dip, that was a good one. But, just for a scalp, that's it. That's out. It's all that. And here's a little quick update finally here, man. I mean, Obi's been on my you-know-what for a long time here. And with 101 days, in the leaderboard is Obi, up now 28%. We've got him by 2% right now, almost 3%. That's going to change very, very soon. Obi, there's Ramin taking a nice little move there as well. We all started with 10 grand, and this is what we have so far. Neil, Mateo, Fabian, Sharif, the chat because of Big Bear AI, and Brendan saying he has CEG. Actually, I just bought some CEG also. So there's CEG. That's down 14%. I just bought that. He's got Tesla and IREN as well. Joe, we talked about his numbers there. CrowdStrike, good there. JP Morgan, which we really like. And then Walmart getting hit today to the downside. My guy is just Marvell to the rescue. And Eli Lilly finally starting to get going. And again, we talk about, the time we take the trades, but there's Big Bear AI down 33% on that one. And then Obi, because he's been right on, both of us have that one trade that's been a miracle trade, and he's got, I keep forgetting the name of this, BW. Babcock and Wilcox. Right there. So again, a good technical break for him. But these should actually be at zero right now because the shorts would have got blown out, but that's okay. There it is right there. He is still right there, up 30%. So we say Obi, great job on that one, and we'll see. We're going to readjust those end of June, and then we'll make some more calls, and you guys we'll figure out a way to get the chat more precise with what their picks are. Okay, NVIDIA is battling back, but not really. We just had a nice little move there. We'll see what winds up holding. It's the market that's trying to figure itself out right now. Maybe Adara, you can just sort of confirm and read the story there about what happened around 1 o'clock, where we saw,
So it's really weird. So usually it takes a while for news to disseminate, but this took at least 5 to 7 minutes. Then I started seeing a headline completely out of nowhere, checked it in, it seemed to be accurate. Long story short here, guys, there is a report from Al Arabiya TV suggesting we could get a draft agreement here between the U.S. and Iran. Apparently, they've already reached it with Pakistan as a mediator. It could be announced within the next few hours. Now, notably, it does not mention the uranium issue. Now, we know the uranium situation in terms of, whether or not Iran will be able to, A, keep their uranium, or B, send it to non-U.S. countries. That's not even mentioned at all, and that's been like a major, major issue for both sides of this. So the fact that that's not mentioned makes me kind of wonder about the validity of this, but regardless, this is what's being reported. Apparently, they're going to be allowing free passage through the Strait of Hormuz and the Persian Gulf, but there's going to be monitoring from both countries involved. There's also going to be a gradual easing of sanctions against Iran. Apparently, as Iran kind of complies with aspects of the deal, they're going to slowly ease those sanctions. Both parties have to cease fighting, and both parties have to agree no hitting infrastructure. So again, guys, really weird that uranium and nuclear isn't addressed at all, and that's kind of what tips me off to, we'll have to see how accurate this is.
Those are the sticking points. It's got to be there. If we kind of know what this, the line in the, you know where the line in the sand is. So we'll see. I mean, obviously the market's shrugging a lot of stuff off, right? It's the market. We're in a bull market. Excuses to go up. That's the way you got to think about it. So it doesn't have to be sustaining. The bond market doesn't have to cooperate. I mean, eventually, sometimes that does play out the other way, but yeah, for now, I don't know. This doesn't make me feel all that warm and fuzzy about it without some kind of an agreement there when it comes to uranium. This is all about the bomb or not. So it is what it is. SMCI took that wick underneath VWAP. I'll give it just above the 33, which is this candle wick here, but it doesn't look like it wants to hold that VWAP. This is the one name. I shouldn't say the one name, but this is the name that I found that I liked to the south side. So just looking to play it at least first into this range, the 32.6 to 32.8, and then if it's able to get to the LOD, fair enough. The other thing that we're trying to pay a little bit of attention to, at least I am, is some of those quantum names. The big fail this morning, well, I'm in a keystroke error, and my losing trade was Intel today, but it wouldn't be fair to say that was the fail. The fail was not just immediately having QBTS breaking out. This has gone ham, 28%, and this is not alone. I'm not singling out D-Wave, D-Wave is the best in the world. Rigetti, so 28, 27.8 and 26.4. Better than QUBT, I'm pretty sure, so I feel pretty good about, 18% there. So these have been absolutely fantastic. IBM's having a great day. I'd make the argument that IBM, in a lot of ways, is more impressive because, it's not a meme stock and it's doing what it's doing. These guys are kind of meme-ish. But we have a very, very all afternoon or all post-morning range. That's a better way to put it. So there's your 10 o'clock dip area, and it's been holding the line so clean on QBTS. And this is one here at Real Trading that you don't have to pay for locates on. If I draw the same line on Rigetti, you pay for shorts with Rigetti. And QBTS, it's free. So if I'm ever thinking short and it's literally the same setup, you just do it on the one that's free, and it's more or less the same thing. So holding this line very tight, break the trend, look for the VWAP retrace. Maybe not even VWAP. Even if it got to just 24, that'd be pretty good. And it's just gliding toward this 25 level. So missed a long trade, but it's got a nice little setup here for a short that can work. It doesn't mean it will. Trend breaks are what they are. Sometimes you will get in, Walmart was a trend break that at the moment that I got it, kind of immediately reversed and didn't work. Slightly up on it because did get the trail out in there before it was at break even. NEO is an example of a trend break that did work. So you just sort of play it. It's a pretty binary trade every time that it gets taken, but it is QBTS that I'm looking to engage with. on the trend line that I just did not save. So when I call it up, I'll draw it again and hit save.
That's the problem is there. Same kind of way there. I mean, we had Rigetti and we didn't nail it off the open. And,
They're basically they were literally the exact same trade and setup. And you
right
could have taken
there.
any of them.
Yeah, and I actually was talking about it right off the open, and I mean, we have it. I don't even know where my sticky note is anymore. Here it is right here. We had posted up there, you guys, 1850 on Rigetti, and that came in exactly at 1850. I didn't pull the trigger because it was early and was like, oh, well, maybe we're going to come back in, but no, it does not. It absolutely tears up there. So that could have been a day changer right off the open. Boom, and you make your money, and that's that by 10 o'clock. Like, we're not even where we were at 10 o'clock. You know, so it's really been, you know, a slow grind back up to the upside for these quantum plays there. I wanted to look at, so I'm just letting, look, we're a couple bucks in the money on all three of these, so we're just going to let them relax a little bit with, you know, the most nervous being the Microsoft short because of the way the market's going. BlackBerry, I know, 425, that's good. Yeah, so Tesla didn't have that like complete, they did have a recovery for sure, but we were higher off the open, 427, so if you're thinking about a long, I mean, maybe if this market does get going again, right now it's kind of sleeping, but if it does get going, what about a Tesla long? We're above VWAP. You broke through that 419 area. That looks like a really great hold spot there. So, you know, Tesla drifting back into here could be a good long. I'm still going to cheer for the shorts to come through because of what I said. I have about 3 times now more shares on Microsoft than I do the other two. But who knows where that's going to go. Right there, 419. So basically, if it goes up, we'll basically break even on it all, which we don't want that. So we want to make some money. 419 coming into play there for Tesla. Could be a good little look there for TSLA. So we'll keep our eye on that one. Just right now, it looks like it wants to absorb into that 420 area right there. So we'll see if that winds up holding or not. We didn't look at Rivian anytime soon, so we'll have a quick little look there, see what that's doing on this kind of a day. You would think it might be moving to the upside.
Up.
Yeah, 3%. That's nice.
Up today.
Yeah, it's getting good, man. It's potentially. I mean, there's that level again. And we say sometimes when you look back, you know, these looking at levels like this will make you feel silly because it looks pretty obvious. But, you know, a lot of levels sometimes look obvious. It's hard to cherry pick it, but that's why I think dollar cost averaging is a great idea if there's names that you like, right? It's like what today I averaged up into IBM, you know, got good news, took, you know, averaged up into it. So that's going to be a good one. And I think same thing for Rivian, right? If you're stuck buying this area right here, 15s, because you thought, okay, it's going to hold, well then, you know, maybe you think it was going to hold right here, and nothing wrong with thinking that. So that's, you know, part of the game. Try to find a level that you want to support, that you feel is a good buy zone, and just start to average in. You know, if you have 10 grand and you put in $9,000 right here, you know, congratulations, but that's not the plan, because then when it comes all the way back in, well, it could be your plan. But when it comes back into here, that whole DCA thing is like, now you got to find new money to put in because you only have $1,000 left. So that's where you want to make sure that you pick the right names at the right time. And, you know, a good example of those with good companies, Eli Lilly, which finally is back above that $1,000 mark, but they had, you know, some buying opportunities as well. You know, right into here, that first little move down into 970, right there you could have bought. Then you buy a little bit on the break right there of the 200 period. We always like doing that. Then it goes up. Maybe you buy it again at the 200 period. This level, I guess, coincides there. I don't know if you would have been smart enough. That definitely not me. Buying that 850, and now you're getting back up to the upside. So buying good companies like a John Deere today is another example. Like, it's
a great example.
You know, this comes right back into, I think it was a 200 period moving average.
You know,
yeah, there it is. So like that's a dip buy. Like again, if you have 10 grand, the number doesn't matter.
If I didn't ask about what the PE, if I didn't look at the PE, I was probably just going to sit on a bit of that today in my personal account.
Yeah, you can't. I mean,
But
buying PEs.
Instead, I put a dip buy into Walmart that never filled. So buy one of them. You suck, Walmart.
Yep.
Well, it's good. It bounced. I own Walmart in my long term, but yeah, I wanted to buy the dip back into some support there for it. In the chat, Aruna Warrior, I was looking at silver for SLV. Silver SLV, for a trend down break, or like an uptrend break. Like see from VWAP, hold the trend line, and now it's threatening the trend line. So I'm looking short here with this confirmation candle, and then just give it up to like the 50-ish area. So we'll see if this 3-minute can close in the red down here, and then I would look for the entry. So very similar to most of the trend break trades that I would look at as well. And not everything is about PE. It's not, yeah, like I'm not sitting here telling you that I only ever dip buy things because they have a good price to earnings. It was more that, well, my horse is Caterpillar that I back, and I never, like it better be really good if I'm getting away from the horse, getting away from backing the horse that I like better in a general.
I mean, Caterpillar and Deere.
They're not, no, but they're very similar.
But they are completely different because Caterpillar's going up because they're power generation.
Not completely different. They're close and they're not completely different. But I think, but by that argument, Costco and Walmart are completely different businesses as well. Like you can make subtle.
I mean, there's one's a membership business.
You can do subtle distinctions in there, but I wouldn't want to own both of them. And if I'm going to step into one, if I'm going to do Deere, it's because I think it's a short-term like value play or something, and it's not that cheap. So like I'd rather save any money that I would be putting into that to wait for the next opportunity to buy Caterpillar, which I pretty much always do, and it didn't get there. We're going to go to Adara and then come back. Because, well, yeah, someone's asking about earnings tonight, and there's really only Zoom, I think.
Well, yeah, earnings tonight. That's actually great timing, Neil. Here are the implied moves. I just posted them. Unfortunately, Webull, I could not find an implied move for. I want to get that off of my chest right now. I do have an earnings preview for Webull available on X at TTV Research, so I've not abandoned Webull by any means. I just couldn't find an implied move, so it's not here. Largest implied move, and this doesn't really shock me, is going to be Decker's, DECK. This name tends to move pretty violently on earnings and often, unfortunately, to the downside. Smallest implied move, ROST, also not super surprising, at 4 p.m. Workday here with a nearly 11% expected move, and then the other three, Zoom, Take-Two, Copart, roughly 8 to 9.5% expected moves. I do also have to mention, guys, Webull, again, no implied move. They're expected to report at 4:15 p.m. And if you want to know more, check out the infographic on X at TTV Research. Before I send you back, speaking of infographics available on X at TTV Research, I premiered this yesterday on the big screen. I hadn't posted it yet at this time. It's out. My look at Ken Paxton, Texas Attorney General, and his many cases against public companies. You can find some of these settlements are pretty interesting, including a settlement for over 2 million free eggs, quote unquote. You can find this whole thing on X at TTV Research. I will likely update it as new suits are announced, because I suspect we will probably get new suits announced. Back to you.
I expect there will be new suits. No, it means Zoom is a poster child for what was a great time to have been investing. What's the word that you use? It's what's the word Kramer says for like it was during COVID, like investing, where it didn't matter what you bought. You could have bought it. There's a term.
I don't know.
It doesn't really matter. But you know, like you would basically like throw a dart at a chart of a bunch of stocks, and then whichever one it hit, you just sort of won. Like it didn't matter what you were buying back then. I guess I have to zoom out way further when we're doing that analysis. It didn't matter what you were buying. Back then, it was just, you were going to win, almost on just about everything. The ones that'll be in the textbooks, like later on when we talk about the pandemic and people are learning about it in their MBAs and all that kind of stuff. These guys will be up near the top of the list for the parabolic reversal that you look at. That being said, that's over with. It's over, and whether you like it or not, some of these names are coming back from the dead that have just god-awful, horrible, pathetic, disgusting charts. You could say that about I could say that about TAN and Enphase that are having fantastic runs lately. Solar's been trash, but you can't tell me that it's not on a short-term uptrend. And you can't say the same thing about Zoom on the weekly. And it's pulling back, even if it's a bad print tonight, it would be pulling back into a pretty significant prior high in this like high 80s, 90 range. So that's worth watching. Like it's not automatically bad if it can dip and sort of hold that area. Upward trend. You don't get to say that very often for these guys. JKL with a super chat. Let's go. Let's throw it up there. It's about NVIDIA. I'm liking NVIDIA here as long as no one tweets. JKL, usually you're talking swing, right? So I just want to get the time frame down, because you're thinking swing after the earnings, maybe you're thinking the day trade, like right here, right now. Usually we look at it from like a swing perspective. I think NVIDIA, I want to give it a couple more, not even a couple more days. I just look at the last couple of earnings, and it's generally been over a week where you can get that bottoming out process, and I think the value is, you're getting a good value relative to the other megs, and relative to usually what you'd get versus the S&P. That I like, but I'm waiting for it. I like your instincts, though. You know, it's been the right call while everyone's complaining about NVIDIA for a week after their earnings to be the dip buyer. It hasn't been wrong yet. It's been wrong on the first day a lot of times. It just hasn't been wrong in the long run. At some point, you know, it is still.
I mean, stocks are going to be moving around there. Anthropic raising more money today. So, oh, by the way, there we go. So we did, you know, it's a good thing that we were able to get out some more down there for Softy. We just see it start to go back up. We take 2 fills right here. Still waiting for that fill at VWAP because last time it did this move. It went up to 420.30. So we're going to wait to 420.50 to get stopped out. It's just, is my chart not even moving here? No, this is right. We do have Steve Tileman, I think, coming through today. He's in the calendar. So we'll see if he comes out there. Joe, really excited. Joe, you can grab a mic if you want to talk to him. No problem. Yeah. 222, yes, kids moving, 29,440 right there. It's always this number, man. 29,420 is that low right there. So we'll see. It's 427. We'll see if that comes into play as it's trying to push a little bit downside as Microsoft goes oppo the future. So maybe these guys are finally starting to get the picture today that they're supposed to be up. But we already tried our long hand there on Microsoft, and it didn't work out that well. So we'll have to wait to see what's going on with Microsoft. Hopefully a little bit of a push down there. Still waiting to get a few more shares up top. If that does hit, it hits. Who knows? You mentioned WeRide. So right here, WeRiding with Uber, and that has been bad. I actually took, because we're Amazon Prime members, they're hooked up with Lyft. So I took a Lyft on to and from the airport when we went there. And both times it was probably 20% cheaper than Uber. So, you know, and that's whether or not you're getting the Comfort or the XL or whatever you're getting. It was just interesting to see that. So right now, Uber just battling. I don't know what they're going to do. You would think that they would have been up, you know, on recently just with some of the deals that they've made with NVIDIA and so on and so forth, trying to get all the cars automated. But we do know that robotaxi is right around the corner. And potentially Uber is not a hold anymore, but I don't know. Look at Lyft today, up 1.5% and trying to get back through. So all of these look pretty dead. I mean, this reminds me of Intel right here, where we've just been doing absolutely nothing forever. Intel was more like a whole year. This has been since only February.
Yeah, it needs to be longer than that.
Yeah, it needs to be way longer, but then it comes back into here as well. So there is some nice upside surprises potentially for Lyft. So we definitely understand that there's something there. But yeah, deals with DoorDash, deals with Amazon. Hopefully Lyft can get something going. But this has been a decent area to nibble in on anyways. $12.50 to $13 there on Lyft. But yeah, nervous hands about this name, right? I mean, we are nervous regarding Uber.
Uber's been disappointing for a while. Like,
Uber's been very disappointing.
I haven't done anything with the holding in that since the taking profit on the S&P 500 inclusion move, and then I'll buy back those shares at some point, and then I look back at it in a quarter, and I'm like, I still don't like it. And then I'll buy back those shares at some point, and then I look back another quarter, and I still don't like it. And I just keep every single time I consider buying more Uber shares, I just don't like it. I don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it. And at some point, that narrative can change. If it's at the same price of accumulation a year from now, I just think, okay, now I'll believe that somebody is bottoming this sucker. And the longer the accumulation, I think the better. Especially if we get another downward push in the market and it survives that. Like if we get a real downward push from the highs and Uber survives support and lifts, if they survive that support, okay, I'd be a little bit more convinced. Nothing too crazy happening. Yeah, you know what, these quantum names, QBTS is what the?
The market's going here.
Yeah, there was just, okay, so anyways, I was about to say nothing was happening, but
NVDA's flushing
it was just a bit of a push down. I got one fill in SMCI, but I looked up and QBTS literally didn't move for me. So I got one fill under VWAP, but the quant names aren't moving. They actually ticked higher on that. Because my first thought was, oh, we just got to flush down. We're going to break the trend on QBTS. And instead, what did it do? It just tagged a new fresh high. Unbelievable. These stocks are too good today. Too good.
We actually got a, we got a fill on Microsoft. We got 49.14, okay, 419.14 there. And then I didn't think we got it, so I bought some because it went right back up. But there it is at the 25 period moving average. So I just heard Joe go, whoa, NVIDIA there. And then I was like, whoa, Microsoft. But I didn't think I got filled, but I did. So I pushed a little bit of shares out there again at 30. So there it is, 419 and change. We'll see if Microsoft wants to go the way of the dodo bird, but not now. It's holding up. So that's 418.60 into this 419 area, a possible buy zone for me. I'm going to put another quick bid down here. Just hope to catch it on the way back through. You know, if it does go, we just shorted it again here at the top side of this trade. So, you know, if we're lucky enough to get this around I always say the word lucky, but you know, you do need luck when you're trading. That is for sure. It's almost, I don't know what percent people think it's luck. I think it's much higher than what most people would think. Here's 419 and change, back down there to the downside. But all right, hopefully that does come in. Our NVIDIA, we talked about, you know, losing the bid already on this one. So we still are into it. Okay, well then react and get to the downside if this is what the case is there.
Oh,
maybe Trump doesn't know who he's talking to again all of a sudden. I don't know.
Talking to this guy.
I don't know exactly who reported all these things that there's potential deal in the works here, but okay, State TV.
You know who we are talking to though? We don't know who Trump is talking to. We know who we're about to be talking to.
Yes.
Our good friend, there he is, Steve
There he
Talman.
is.
Trade the Pool, how's it going, brother? Hope the market's treating you well. If you're long, it kind of can't not be.
Hard not to be happy.
There we go.
Oh, sorry about that. Hard not to be happy when everything's popping, especially some of these semiconductor continuation plays like ARM. That's my
ARM has been about 1 billion times better than could be expected, but that monthly chart speaks for itself. It's been an absolute rocket ship. Outside of the obvious here, the market is showing us that we're still in very much bull range, right? Is there anything that stands out to you as maybe disappointing or gives you pause for concern? Some people like to point to like the bond market this or whatever, too frothy, or are we just in complete like bull mode and just suck it up and be happy with it?
I mean, I'm not gonna look a gift rally in the face. What I will say is the one thing I'm a little concerned of is that oil is still pricing in a decent amount of risk premium. We have a USO hourly chart here, and it is kind of retesting the apex of this big pennant that it's been building out ever since the war bump started. So for me, it is still technically in an uptrend. You can see that purple hourly 200 is kind of holding on. We have the rising daily trigger there as well. And so for me, the only thing that would make me feel a little bit better is if we could get a sharp breakdown in this overall oil chart. Maybe get back down to the 125 area, potentially down to 100. And once we start losing that 140 kind of level, I'm going to feel a lot better about the market really trying to put this whole conflict in the rear view.
Literally as you say that, USO just bounces like $1.50 as we speak, sending the markets lower. And obviously, yeah, the tit for tat. I would agree with you on that standpoint. Like there has to be some concern that, hey, if this trend continues and rates stay where they are, I mean, you can't think that the market can ignore this forever. That being said, we are in an upward trend. Have you been trimming on this move to the upside? I know we were just talking about ARM. ARM just did the 2-year consolidation on ARM. It broke out. It basically tagged the top end. And when it hit 290, that would be the top end of that respective range. So it took 2 years to consolidate. It took literally no time to break out and hit that almost $300 level. Is that a place where you were trimming?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you read my mind here. Here's my monthly chart. We got cheeky. We spelled it out in the chart. That's when we knew it was ready. The 2 times measured move, like you said, I have it marked as just under 300 proper. So that's a good level for me to trim because I feel like we're going to get magnetized up right to there. If I held this long, I think I can hold a little bit longer. With respect to this 200 level, this should be long-term support now. But I want the 200 or 300 trim, and I'll take some more off at 350 or so, I think.
Perfect. Can I get your thoughts on just in general on the quantum move here today? We've seen them rally before. This looks very, very good today, whether it's D-Wave, whether it's Rigetti. I mean, IBM gives you a different bit of a look off the spending bill, and not spending bill, but this round of funding from the U.S. from the administration. It's parabolic, but compared to what we've seen before, like it feels like it's on the longer term, kind of like a nothing burger. Like if you've been holding these a while, like anything from the highs, we're still cut in half from the top on a QBTS. So what are your thoughts here? Because you're breaking a 200 period. This is a 28% move up that you can make arguments is not even that invalid for a new entry point for those that aren't in them. Does one name stick out for you in the group? Are you involved at all? Do you have any plans after this parabolic move today?
Absolutely. So it's a fascinating sector because despite, like you said, massive rallies off the lows, a lot of these names have a ton of room to the top if we want to really get euphoric again and start stretching these valuations on some of the, let's call it, more dubious long-term holds in the market. You know, it might take a while for the quantum narrative to actually pay out if it ever does, but these stocks can run exponentially higher even if they don't. So one that I'm watching out for is QUBT. This one is fascinating for a few reasons. First off, it is essentially trying to rebrand as a photonics play. So you get that kind of tailwind as well. I like that it's flipped this level in particular. It was a big support, flipped into major resistance, and now we're finally pushing through it. So off of that 1050 is where I've been watching QUBT. Got a little bit, but I'd like to add, I just have a tester there. So this is the one that's on my watch list for a potential big-sized move up. But one more for you. Just kind of the OG in the space, the IONQ here. This is a really big level, this 55 neckline, and seeing us pop it with such strength here today makes me think that all of this volume is turning into a shelf, and we can get a pretty explosive move to the upside.
IONQ.
I like the IONQ. How's it going, my guy? Did you get involved in Cerebras at all? I mean, we do have another major IPO coming with SpaceX and hopefully OpenAI and then Anthropic. So just wondering, I mean, the daily chart looks like whatever on this name. We're right back into some of those lows. Do you have a plan? I know you deal with a lot of traders. What do you look for? Because we just talked about how ARM is, you know, where that price is and what a great IPO that's come out at. Today we're down 4.5% in you know, what's been a pretty strong tape. Now it's coming back in. Any plans for, you know, IPOs and when do we start getting in if we like the name? Because I think a lot of people are going to like SpaceX. You know, we've seen the way Rocket Lab, Astera, I don't have to, ASTS Mobile, everything like that. ASTS Mobile, AST Mobile keeps going up, symbol ASTS. What's the plan of action for SpaceX, Cerebras, any of these names? Like, do we wait a couple months before we get in? Is there anything key that you look at to use an anchored VWAP? Like, you know, if we like the name, when do we know to get in? Is it a dollar cost averaging thing? What do you tell any clients or any traders that ask you about, hey, I got a little bit of FOMO. What do I do with some of these IPOs? Because they always come out way over the price expectation, right? I mean, 185 was where we were thinking for with CRBS. It comes out at 350. So what do you tell people about how to trade IPOs?
Well, so the first thing I'll say about IPOs, they are one of the most unadulterated edges left in the market, I would say, one of the most significant. But that's for the people who are in already. And it's just very high probability that they will act as liquidity events for them to sell into. Because of this, you will get very similar price action regardless of how high quality the company is. You'll see Hood, big pump to start, and then wash out all the way down to under $10. We saw the same thing with Bull. There's another massive monthly candle, completely reverted before the slide started. And even higher quality names like everybody's favorite Palantir, they all needed to take a significant haircut and usually a really brutal one to hold through for multiple years and often as much as 80% of a drawdown. So the easiest way to play IPOs is to not play them for quite a while. What I will say is for the space trade, because I think you're right, SpaceX IPO is like historic. There will not be a bigger one until Anthropic, and this is the biggest one I think we've seen so far. So many ETFs, so many institutes in general are trying to get a piece of this that they'll use anything as a proxy, which is why we're seeing all of these space names run like this. So I think the best IPO trade actually is to just long any of these space names into the IPO. Use that liquidity to get yourself a nice, easy trade. And then maybe put an alert for a couple of years down the line to actually get involved in SpaceX proper, because I think it'll be a significant pullback for quite a while.
I think you nailed it right there. That was what we were looking for, was like, you know, is there that proxy? And I think that's why we called up some of those names in the space. Because I honestly think it's the market will, and I was actually debating getting some puts on the NASDAQ or whatever in and around that June 12th time, give it about a week. I feel like the air is going to get sucked out of some of this market if SpaceX, you know, does come back in just a little bit. Could have some bag holders at the top there. And also maybe traders sell positions to either average back into SpaceX or get that all figured out. I like what you're talking about there. Wait a little while before you get involved in that one. All right, so I think the last time you were on, we did talk a little bit about oil. It's not really stopping, is it? It seems to be climbing. Sure, today you're down. We had a down day yesterday. We get this deal here today. Is there a deal? Is there not one? A little bit of back and forth happening in the last couple hours. But USO still seems pretty much like a long to me. I mean, you've come back in. Looks like we're trying to bounce off 140. Obviously, there's your 50-period moving average. We haven't even seen that since January. And when we have, it was bought up on these little wicks. So I'm not even sure. Those are just probably intraday spike downs. But either way, looking pretty strong to me. I can't fault anybody if we get back into these 150s to look for a quick little short. But take on oil right now. And I don't want to, let's not say, well, we got to wait for the next headline. But charting-wise, what does it look like? Because I'm hearing $6 plus all summer per gallon, depending on where you live, potentially $8, $9 there in California and some of those states that do have different tax situations with gas and oil. So what do you think about USO? I mean, it's on the mind of everybody as we wait for more CPI numbers, and we didn't get a great PPI today. So what are you thinking about with oil and energy?
Well, everybody's talking about the taco trade, right? Trump always chickens out. I think the nacho trade is what I'm worried about. And that is essentially not a chance the Hormuz Strait opens,
Nice.
And I'm just not sure. By the way, that's not mine. I forget who said that. Somebody funnier than I. But in general, what I'm looking at is this conflict to kind of take longer to normalize in terms of oil prices than most are expecting. I think the charts are still reflecting that. But I do think that with the way that breadth is kind of setting up, and a lot of these charts are setting up, we could see everything going up here, including oil and SPY together. We have seen that on the way up at times. So far in the past, shorter time frame, we have seen more respect to if oil comes down, it'll be more of an inverse relationship. But I'm just noting long-term, week to week, this does not look like a chart that is done to me. It looks like a chart that still has room to go.
Right.
And I would be worried about the market being more willing to assume the best and run SPY up maybe more than it deserves in comparison to oil than I would be to assume that this conflict gets wrapped up neat and tidy and supply chains and shipping and the oil supply normalizing there.
Good. I mean, that's kind of similar thoughts there. I was looking at the chart myself and thinking it looked like it had a little bit more room to run. Just quickly here, we just got out of our TQQ trade there at the 200-period moving average. We were long all day on this name, guys, and from basically from the open, that's about 10:30 right down there. We just got a bounce off view up. Whenever you get a bounce off view up back into the 200-period moving average, I'm going to take that out and just wait to see what winds up happening as we still look forward to Microsoft coming back down. All right, Steve, Neil and I have thrown many different tickers at you. Is there something right now that maybe you're looking at? I mean, we talked about ARM, so I think you've sort of showed us that now a couple weeks. Is there something else right now that you're looking to do, both on either on the long or the short side? What sort of got your attention at this point?
Sure. Yeah, I have two plays for you. The first, in the same spirit as ARM, is a big beneficiary of NVIDIA's recent earnings report. So I think that the data center names are going to come back in full force here. My favorite is APLD. This one's having a big move. They just hit a core milestone.
Everyone likes it.
Sorry about that. That was Joe. Joe got really excited there about APLD for some reason there. So, sorry. Go ahead, Steve.
Sorry. No, this is just I get excited about this one because it's a major base that's breaking out here. These crayons so far are adding up. I think that we're going to keep stair-stepping up here and probably tag into the 70-plus range. Long-term, this thing is a massive base with a lot of room to go, and everything's kind of coming in line here for the narrative. So this for the data centers is my top pick for the kind of position trade. I'm in it from significantly lower, so be careful chasing up here. But I think that it does have that explosive look. The other name, still setting up on the bigger charts, but I'm really liking Pump, P-U-M-P. So this is going to be, it's priced like an oil field services name. They do have a very interesting aspect to their business. They just acquired essentially a system for powering data centers with natural gas. Sorry, I was double checking there, making sure this is the right ticker. Yes, it is. And this one is the one that also got a lot of unusual options flow today in the 17.5 strike for June. So when I see that combined with such an explosive chart, and when I think about what BE did when it started getting re-rated for these data center plays, see, it was doing this sideways basing, until it had an explosive re-rating. So not saying that happens to pump, but there is a chance. And I really like this setup long term.
There you go. Good look. Anything that can get lumped into this theme is perfect. And, I just looked at that APLD. I mean, it does have a striking similarity to some of the ARM chart. Whether it can do what ARM did, I hope it does for you. That's Steve Talman, our good friend from Trade the Pool. Tell everyone where they can find you, brother.
Absolutely. Well, you can find us at Trade the Pool. We're streaming every day. I'm always on for Power Hour. Today, I'll be doing an earnings report. We're going to be talking about Webull. We're going to be going over the fundamentals as well as the technicals. Maybe catch a trade there. As well as that, you can also find me at on my Twitter at Steve Tileman, SteveTeilmann. Right in the bio there is my Discord server that's completely free, and that's where you can find me just about 24/7, guys. So come on in.
Appreciate it. That's Steve Talman, analyst from Trade the Pool, and so kind to not wear a New York Yankees cap today. So I'm smiling because obviously you guys handed it to us.
Oh, yesterday we won.
I remember.
Well, we did win yesterday. We had Trey going yesterday.
Yeah. All right, Steve, thank you so much. Everybody go check this gentleman out. Very smart individual. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
From Trade the Pool.
Thank you.
All right, always
Yeah,
great
they
to
got
have,
us twice, but we got them back.
Yeah, and then, well, like you said, Trey, I think, is going to be legit.
That guy's just...
That's why I think the Jays still have a very legit chance. I mean, they're only a couple games out of the wild card, and then once you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. Then your boy Vladdy can earn his paycheck, and we'll get going from there. So
I just love Trey's mentality. The guy is he is so fearless.
I worry about his injury because he did have one in the preseason. Right?
And he throws from an arm angle that historically is very, very bad for long-term health. Throwing from that kind of angle, like it is what it is. But this market, if you saw what just happened, I mean, obviously most people probably saw the NASDAQ go into VWAP and USO start trending up. It was just those headlines that we got from, whether it was state TV and all negative with regards to a deal being happening. Iran's not going to back down, like that sort of a thing. So that was the majority of what was going on. There were no new headlines that we didn't already show you while Steve was on there. What was that just now? I'm
going to ask if we can get volume on this thing. Last night I went out and supported, we were just talking about pitchers there. I went out and supported this guy here, Zevon. They're called Lego Money. And we went to, myself and Gia last night, we went out to, they were doing a little, there she is right here. She's like, get away from me, Dad. But we went out there and supported this guy. Great. I just want you guys to hear him. 13 years old, one of the pitchers on my team last year. They went to the Little League World Series last year, and I just wanted to give a little bit of shout out to Lego Money, and there it is right there, and there's another one. It was a really great time. I mean, it's all about, to me, it's all about community and whatnot. So, we went out there, supported him, and it was an absolutely great time. So I just was hoping that we could show that. But anyways, all right.
Oh, we can't?
No, we can't. I just don't know. I can't get the sound. It's not me sitting there watching it is one thing. There's two videos there. You guys watch both of them or whatever, Fabian or whoever's setting it up. And if one is better, sounds better, whatever, go with that one, please. And thank you. But yeah, that's all. So we did that last night, and that was a lot of fun. So you got to keep doing different things, right? With your life. Tonight we have a game again, so we'll see what's going on tonight. 8 p.m. at High Park. You'll see the High Park Little League Red Sox versus the Pirates today. And,
hey, we're the Pirates this year.
We're Orioles are 5-0, so Orioles are a good team. They won last year. And Pirates are up there. We're 3-0-1, so this is going to be a good one for us. Now, you might have saw during the midday show, I was doing the lineup there, and we had one of our best. Yeah, one of our best players is not coming tonight, which is fine. I told him to work on his pitching. He wasn't there on Monday either. So
one of our best players will never make practice because they're playing on two teams. Which kind of sucks because I think she'd be a great, we have all three coaches, all of our daughters are the only girls on the team, but one of the coaches, her daughter's never played before.
Right.
So I think it's just, a lot of times, it's great she's with Erin, she's making friends like my daughter, but just the other presence, because this other was a year older and has been playing even longer than Erin, I think would be a great influence.
We have a girls' day at High Park where all the younger ones come and meet all the rep players, the ones I coach.
And it matters.
So it's a lot of fun. Oh, okay, you want to show the video? Okay, then we can hear it? Go ahead, let's see. I can't push play. Oh, you can't. doesn't sound that good there, but anyway, it just sounds like a lot of banging. But absolutely great, man. Covered. They actually had their first album release party last night, and they did their first album, and it was a lot of fun. So there it is. Go check them out. Lego Money. They dropped 5 songs. It's him and his brother, so a 13-year-old and I think a 10-year-old or so. So anyways, that was a lot of fun. It was rock and roll, and it was just great. And he had a couple different fans there and everything, and he's just it was a great time. But all right, over there, back to Adara.
Yeah, congrats to that band. Guys, keep an eye here on USO. Al Jazeera now reporting that, quote, intense mediation is underway with Pakistan officials in Iran. So this report suggests that we don't actually have a draft agreement reached, which is what we heard earlier, but that apparently they are very close to reaching a deal, and they're currently working on that draft text. But apparently another source told Al Jazeera that it's too early to tell if a serious final agreement is within reach. So basically, there's more uncertainty. We had slightly more, I guess, clarity, at least from one report. Now we're hearing more uncertainty. So it's just a regular day at the market. Please make sure to like. Please make sure to subscribe. And please, guys, check X at TTV Research. I'm seeing a lot of talk about Webull. And do you know where you can find a visual on Webull earnings? I think you do. X at TTV Research. The Seamus Self promo is over. I'll send you back to the guys.
Giving him a chance. Thank you very much, Sarah Dara. I know someone just invoked Alec Manoa. That's the saddest story for that kid. I feel so bad for him. But
I feel so bad. He made millions of dollars.
no, it's more. It's not the money that I feel bad. I think anybody who, like, you're coming up as a player, and the second you get hurt or something happens to you, your team then goes on a run and goes to the World Series. So basically,
he also
like,
didn't take proper care of his body.
Well, yeah, a lot happens.
It's
It's just like the timing. It's just like it's the worst timing.
Thought he was him.
It's the worst timing of all time. I remember it happening to Frank Thomas. Like, he was so good for the White Sox for so long. He gets injured for a full season, and they go to the World Series. And he was the franchise, and it gave so much to them. And then the year that everything worked out, it's like he just happened to be hurt that year. It just sucks. Like, life can be cruel.
All you have to be is on the roster, though, don't you?
Yeah, but it's not the same thing, man. Like getting a ring because you're on the roster and actually. Like, the guy was like their best hitter for like a decade, and then he had to sit on the bench, injured, watching everyone win. It's fun. That's the unbelievable baseball player, and all anybody remembers is him getting his ass handed to him by Nolan Ryan.
Yeah, I know. He charged the mound there. That was hilarious.
Maybe don't charge Nolan Ryan. Does Nolan Ryan look like the kind of person that's messing around?
Yeah, and he's probably like, oh God, here comes Robin Ventura. This will be easy.
These guys are old school, man.
Did we already go to Adara? We just did. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there it is. Yeah. All right. So I'm taking another piece out. Sorry, this is now coding as I had some offers up here that just never got filled. So we take a little piece out there at 219.50. That's that. We did exit out of our TQs. We talked about that with Steve there as it bounced back upside, and we're still $1 in. I don't know, man. I mean, it's 312, so it's not like we have to worry too much about timing here. In this market, I mean, sometimes you just want to get filled. So I'm gonna put another bid out. We just got it there at 60, whatever. What was it, Phil? 69er right there. Let's take a little bit of a fill there. It's bounced off now. Oh man, this is the frustrating thing that I'm trying to get better on, and that is trying to not hope for like monster wins. And what I mean by that is like we've now seen it bounce off there. Just bounced off again. This is a 200 period moving average on an SMA. So on a 1 minute chart, sorry. You know, hoping that it breaks lower. Like we were waiting at 417.50. We could clearly see that this was possibly a buy zone. So the fact that we didn't make that and wasted our time there, we should have gotten more out. So let's wait to see. We missed that 420 refill completely. We took some 70s there. If it does come back up, I will try it one more time. But for now, that is what it is. All right, let me know if there's anything in the chat you guys want to do right now. We can definitely get going. Sia will be back with us on Tuesday. We do have Monday off here, so it's Memorial Day, so we won't see you guys on Monday, but we'll be back tomorrow for sure. Obviously, all of us will be here tomorrow. Brendan's on vacation. Adara's in the back there, and Neil just went to go get a coffee or something. So we'll talk about Marvell, maybe. What else you guys want to do? MSTR, yeah. Oh, yeah. What happened to Adara? Still back there? No, she left. No worries. I think Webull might have got released early there. I don't know. Adara, please take your time. Okay, well, Adara's going to check on Webull for all of us. A good volume there. Like 6. Okay, here we go. All right, next time let me know when you're leaving, and then I'll call you back immediately because that was good TV. 660, 650. I talked about Webull, oopsies, when we looked at a daily chart, trying to fill this gap. We almost did it right there. That's 620 there on Webull. We are expecting their report tonight. There was, like, did they push the button early, an hour early there?
No, I'm not seeing numbers. I'm seeing a lot of weird, obvious scam posts. I told you to buy Webull. Click link below, but it's like the same 2 accounts. Oh. Like it seems honestly like some scheme scams happening here. I'm not seeing anything. I'm just like, oh, meme. Oh, come trade bull. Yeah, it's all hooey. It's actually bull.
It's a bunch of bull.
It's the obvious pun. It's all a lot of bull. Sean just said it though. Oh. But yeah, guys, I am gonna use the washroom. I'll be back.
What happened to bull?
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so there we go. I didn't, just because the only reason we ask about that is this is why I have volume up there, right? Because you want to make sure that, when you're trading something, and especially when it gets to key levels, I'm always looking to say, okay, just like that Microsoft, and that's why I was like, maybe this is nothing up here at 20. It's not like there was a big sell or anything that came in. Right there was, so that was pretty good. We are part of that, so that's, we added to it when we saw that, come through. We got a little bit of the same thing there, but that's what we're looking for. So when you looked at a stock like Webull, oopsies, there you go, like Webull, all of a sudden volume basically went up 10x, in those couple minutes. So there it goes. Webull, nothing in there, just apparently some people either dumping what they had or the number is out. Remember, it's a Chinese company. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but maybe somebody knew or knows something.
It looks like that a firm thing 2 years ago.
Wouldn't that be, yeah. But
except the firm accidentally released a portion of their earnings.
That's what I was saying. Was it a fat finger that someone...
Google did that once too, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. And you could tell it was early because I guess their printer hadn't even factored in a statement from then CEO Larry Page because it said, insert Larry comment here. So yeah, Google has done this, Affirm has done this. I actually have a whole thread on X at TTV Research of just funny earnings gaffes, actually.
All right, well, thanks, Adara. That's, so that's one of those things where we have to be very, very careful on, trading on news that may not even exist. So,
stay away from that.
Yeah, I think that's probably the proper advice there to wait.
Speaking of, about QBTS breaking the trend.
About that.
Yeah, about that. Or how about it just hugs the trend line and breaks out again? 31%. So there's like a 90% chance, or I don't know, some positive, that also breaking out. Oh, Rigetti's at the highs. I guess technically that didn't break out. You've got to be, these are so incredibly strong. That is insane. But yeah, QBTS now all of a sudden in a different realm to the upside. This is no longer, that's not, I don't even know if that's the one to revert. Rigetti didn't break the high. So it could, but it didn't have the good trend line break because it broke it here, didn't do anything with it. So really, if you're shorting it, it's because it's a triple top. It's 1, 2, well, whatever. I don't have to show you. You guys know what a triple top is. Here, it's just, it didn't go when the others did, and it triple topped up here, so it's turning. So that's right. I did say that you have to pay for locates on Rigetti, didn't I? I did say it.
Yeah, okay. So
I didn't know. I didn't actually do it. That's me literally forgetting that you can't punch short, Neil. And because I didn't have to pay for anything, I'm not even logged into Metro this morning. Go ahead. And
so Wolf of Wall Street here. Oh, sorry, Wolf of Wall Street X. All right, so I know you're all over the Midday show. I know they told you to dump it. Good thing you didn't right now. That's why it's very important to trade your book. My only thing is, for me, I would just think that right into there, that's VWAP. I, emptied it out a little bit there as well. I hate the fact that you're still in a loss, but the fact that it's going to end. We do have, so there is imbalances.
Position?
Just he's just long options, and it expired, and they're out of the money. So I was just going to say, depending on, obviously, everything's going to be up to you, but depending on where we look, I'm getting out. So I just took another fill right there at the 200 period moving average. I would think there is a potential run back up to 221 today, back up into VWAP, but we're going to run out of time. And then we talk about it all the time, these imbalances. I would hope that they could come out buys for you today. But right now, the early look on all the New York names are all sells. Again, doesn't really mean anything. None of these are going to be, equivalent of an NVDA on a day like today. 170 million shares. It's just, hey, look, we bounced off VWAP there on the NASDAQ. That's healthy. So at least we're starting to go back up to the upside. You just made right now $1.50. So my question to you is, can you get out of half, now? And then that way you're sort of, protecting some of your downside, by saying, okay, it's at the 200 period, I'm getting out. Like I just covered a little bit right there, right here. So that would be a play for me on that side. So, but yeah, the IV is getting crushed because of earnings. So who knows where it goes tomorrow? You're expiring today anyways, so.
Oh, okay, well, never mind. I was just asking the chat when they expired. Yeah,
That's right there.
Yeah, there's nothing really even to add. It's a tough rate. Like sometimes all you can do is, try to figure out the best way to minimize the loss, right? Like that's a lot of times, a lot of trading is for most people surviving until you can make it. When we talk about the statistics of like 90% of traders fail and this and that, it usually comes down to that. Sometimes it's gritting the teeth and understanding that, hey, this one's not going to work, or the setup didn't set up, or it hit it hits your exit point. I just feel you should always have, like here, I'll just use the example because I think it's always more instructive to use a losing trade than a winning trade. Like sometimes what it is that you're looking for. Like I'm shorting it here. The second we break out above this wick by like a couple of cents, whatever it might be, I know where my out is. I know where my take profits are going to go. And then it becomes a little bit binary. Like decide what that is a lot of times before you get in, like what do I need to see to get out? And then I know what it means to be wrong. And then I don't have to worry about when it gets there what to do. Like I know what I'm doing in that moment. Speaking of which, this is really falling asleep. Oh, I guess I'm just not trailing out here. It's 320, so I'm gonna get away from the actual take profit there and just move it to this local high. I just wanna be out of this trade. I don't want it to just obviously break down. It still hasn't really lost the support under VWAP, which is now where the stop is, but if it pops up, whatever, it's NIO, it shouldn't really be doing that much in the last 30, 40 minutes, unless there's an imbalance. I wouldn't suspect too much more out of it. The real Gary, whoa, is BB actually a buy these days? Well, BlackBerry's now in the AI place and up 7.5% and making its comeback. And we said it before, it's real. The move is happening. It's upward trending. It's doing everything that you want to see. Another 8 points today. Actually, there was a trader used to trade on the floor here. Actually, does some back office stuff that was talking about this one as a breakout. I don't know if he actually got in today, but it was like, yeah, what are you looking at today? And he was like, he mentioned to me BlackBerry. I'm like, huh? I'm like, why? And he says, well, look at the daily chart and look where it's consolidating. And I was like, oh yeah, I see your point. Like, look at the strong move up, right? Obvious uptrend. If it's an uptrend should be obvious, this is an obvious uptrend. And then look at the last sort of 2 weeks here. Holding, higher lows, cresting, and then the last week, it's just look at it, hold that higher low and the lower highs. So what are lower highs into a flat bottom? Possibility for a breakout, right? Like this little trend breakout and then back into the high. When something's in an uptrend, just look for uptrendy types of setups. So that was a good call out. So yeah, BlackBerry is in this realm, whether you believe in it or not. The trend is your friend to the end. When inevitably it eventually bends. That's just how it goes. Look at quantum. I really don't think that quantum move is going to last forever. We've seen this type of story before give a good bump, but how long it will last without anything fundamentally changing, that's up for anybody's interpretation. I would just remind, in QBTS's space, I'm only bringing up D-Wave because D-Wave is up the most. This was a $45, $46 stock at the highs. It pulled to 12 and is just giving you a double up. And ultimately, none of these businesses, with the exception of obviously IBM, have anything to fall back on, right? If they don't make significant breakthroughs and get products that they can sell and generate revenue from, they are nothing. The upside is tremendous, but they are right now nothing. IBM insulates you from a lot of that. Google does too, but no one seems to credit them for being a quantum play either. And they are. They just don't need government money. Google didn't get any $2 billion because Alphabet doesn't need the cash.
Right now, IBM.
That's what I'm saying. That's the safe one.
Yeah.
You have an actual business to fall back on.
I like IBM. We talked about averaging into that one a little bit there today. So I really like IBM at these levels. We'll have to wait to see where it goes from here. But that's a big candle right now, right back up to the upside. And we had just talked about it last couple of days. It's kind of funny that a lot of these quantum names came right into some great spots, and then there it goes. So I just got out another one. I mean, I hope this is working out for you right now, Wolf, because there goes NVIDIA one more time, back up into the 220 area. I know it's not going to matter that much to your options because you're needing to get a little bit more juice out of this and where it is right now. But hopefully it can spike through right there. I'm not even like, I have no shares left. I'm just playing around with this. So hopefully this one makes a move back upside, and then we can wait for VWAP. I'll wait with you. I'm going to wait at 221 now and see if that wants to go upside with NVIDIA. I mean, nothing else is really hitting my scanners here. I mean, Microsoft is, but it's just doing nothing at these levels. SMCI. Okay, high a day again, I guess, coming through for SMCI, or not really, coming right into this area there, SMCI. So that could be a decent level there. You know what's looking like a long, again, we probably don't have that much time left, but we don't actually, checks watch. This Google is right here. And this looks pretty good to me, man. Barcoding, 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 pop. I mean, you're still above VWAP. The market's trying to go. We just bounced nicely off of that. When this market fell down, we did not even get to volume weighted average price there. So that's kind of interesting. And now it's trying to go higher. Like, if there was a little bit more time left in the day, I do actually think that this is that trade I made yesterday on NVIDIA, where we waited, and then there it goes popping through 389. That could spark it at least into 389.60. So it could get, if you're looking for a little bit of juice here into the close, I do think that there might be something available for Google. It does feel a lot like a Friday right now. Microsoft, still waiting for 18.50 on that one. What else is moving? I mean, Walmart today had that big report, and obviously down 6%, but nicely battling back, was down 8 at the lows or so there, down to 120 and change. So we say watch out below for Walmart potentially. Target was trying to follow suit early. Don't know what it's doing late. Okay, 125 and change. So there goes Target upside there from 118 up to 125. We'll see what winds up happening there with TGT. Yeah, those are some plays that we're trying to deal with, and we'll have a good look and see where we go from here on Target. But that's a nice call. We dumped some shares of this at 121, now up to 126, and looking like it wants just a little bit more. Okay, so good on that one. And then IBIT had a little bit of a rally up there on that news on midday too. So there's that spike up in Bitcoin. You know, more certainty in this world, I think, would help out a Bitcoin. So, you know, we can definitely wait to see if there is anything actionable as far as trading is concerned here on BTC.
It's like they just go with they actually went with like the metals today, like silver, gold and silver and Bitcoin. It just all kind of went at the same time. So maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Maybe it's
maybe.
Good,
I mean, I think it's.
I don't love the chart. I don't know. I don't love the mark. I don't love it too much. And there's you have to consider the whole cycle thing too. Like, it's just, you're in this wait for 2027 possibly. It's just not very parabolic. And I know we have JKL, who I cannot even be remotely scared of what's happening in MSTR and the other side of it. Like, that still is holding lower. Like, if anything, when the market bounced, you know how you know something is weak? When the market bounced and everything went into a sustained uptrend, which, by the way, we're still holding because we bounced off of VWAP with the NASDAQ, MSTR goes right into local resistance and holds. Like that's something that is weak. That's something that's in a downtrend. Maybe even a flat bottom break on this tomorrow. Like, because you look at, I look at IBIT, you look at Bitcoin, slightly higher lows. Nothing too impressive. Like, I'm not saying this is a great looking chart, but it's at least made some waves this week, right? It's putting in some higher lows this week. MSTR is showing you what it is, and what it is right now ain't it. Like, this is, that's a short. I think before I even think about short on IBIT, it should be coming to MSTR right now. It just looks a little bit better. Flat bottom break potentially tomorrow through 162. That's going to be in there. Another one which I'm going to leave ye old stink bit in. I'm not sure it's done. Walmart couldn't break out the morning range top. Well, okay, obviously the pre-market was a lot higher. I just mean after the open, it was about 122.5. It's still trying to break 122.5. No dice yet for Walmart. As long as that doesn't happen, then the post-earnings dip buy remains at $115. And if you wonder where that number came from, I can't show you on this chart because this one only is when it moved to the NASDAQ. That's right, Neil? So I have to go to the daily here. It's like 115 is not a random number. It's like double barrel. It's the 200 period on the daily, and it's the 50 period on the weekly. I didn't memorize that. So it's just above the 50 period on the weekly. So that's major support on multiple higher time frames here on Walmart if it pulls a little bit lower. I think when you're looking at things that are like not overpriced, expensive, like DCing, I don't know. Like, I don't know where it's going to bounce. I just know that I want to buy expensive stuff on dips and not at highs. So that I'm waiting for it to retest that 115, get a little bit in. And as we say, like if you're DCAing, and I don't know where the bottom is going to be fundamentally, like if you want to put, like if I want to put 10 in, something like that, I'd probably put a quarter in at that 115. And then I'd reevaluate next quarter. Like not the next, like the next Q for earnings, and then the next quarter would go in, right? Quarter too much there. But yeah, tomorrow, MSTR instead of IBIT for a short play. I'm with JKL on that one.
Okay. Yeah, I was, always the problem is getting out. Like, you got to get out. It's always easy to buy into a position. It's about getting out, and like, where do you, and so I have the same kind of a dilemma here with Marvell. It's like, we're in this name. It's been obviously a good name, and it keeps on going higher. So it's like, at some point, you got to ring the register. So when it does come back in, you do have some cash on the table in order to get out, right? If you didn't, for example, just what you're saying there about Walmart, if you didn't get anything out on Walmart, then yeah, you're probably stuck there. Like you just experienced a 6 or 7% drop down. So if you got out of 10% or so, something near the top, then maybe you're able to capitalize somewhat on this move down, or you're putting new money to work, which is fine as well. And if you think that that's a good spot to put new money in, fantastic. I don't think Tesla, we talked about, that ramp up in SpaceX, and XAI is also wrapped up into SpaceX. I really actually think that June 12th, middle of June, early, like it's that second week there, the second Friday there in June is when we're expecting SpaceX to come. I actually wonder if some energy will come out of the market on a SpaceX IPO. I don't know exactly what that would do for Tesla stock, but we saw Coinbase when that sort of came out. It didn't necessarily signal the top or anything like that for Bitcoin, but it did signal a temporary top. So it's something to think about there as investors may flee on an exit liquidity opportunity there. And that's included of, and we had Steve on, ASTS, or ASTS, the symbol, AST Mobile there as well, Rocket Lab. Anything that's space related could, and I'm not going to say that it's going to be in trouble because I don't know, but that's the thought for me anyways, is that maybe get a little air out there on some of these plays. So I'd watch out for
2 reasons that happens.
I'd watch out for Tesla a little bit.
I think there's 2 reasons that happens.
$7 more for Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, I'm hoping.
There's a chance.
I'm hoping for that.
Easy peasy up there with the super chat. We appreciate you. Rode SanDisk.
$3
up
22 cents.
Starting my Friday. Well, it's not Friday yet, but it'll start it off on a good note. Look, come on, 10% up. See, this is the kind of thing. You know what? You're reminding me to do something that I should have done a while ago. My quote board that I use here whenever I show you a quote board, SanDisk is a name that I need to add to it. Every time I'm showing you guys percentages, and if I don't do it right now while we're talking about it, I'll probably forget because that's how the brain works. But unbelievable day for SanDisk. If it wasn't for ARM, everyone would be talking about this as it. Every time you doubt this thing, it just goes higher. Look at the pullback. It pulls back double bottoms at 13 hundo, and that was it. You got your bear market. Did it get to bear? That'd be $320 down. Yeah, it looks like it. Almost exactly. It's very close to 20% from the highs, and then there it goes back into the upside. There's another one. Like if this is the name you were trying to guess into, well, it pulls back 20%. I guess you nibble in if you're trying to catch a trend. Maybe you do that with MU. There's got to be. I feel like in this AI play, like if you're playing the trim buy dip game, because what else are you going to do? You don't want to get out of everything altogether. You don't want to not take any profit. You find little places to nibble in, like Gvernova breaks out, you take some out, it hits the 50 period again, you nibble back in, and at some point that game breaks and you have a decision to make. But SNDK, so incredibly impressive. And if you wondered what the list I was adding it to, it was this one right here. Like, how am I have a quote board watching every single day and I don't have SNDK on this sucker? Because them and ARM up over 10%. And you know what? Actually more impressive, because this column is from the open. From the open, SNDK is up 12. From the open, ARM is up 10. So intraday, SNDK was actually the better stock.
We did have a question there about Ford. I mean, better than
Stellantis.
I think that's a great buy, but you're just long rate here right now. Can we see 1450 tomorrow? What would be the catalyst for that? I would say, if we did get it, then I would think that that would be exactly right, Leroy. There, I think that this is the right spot for you to get out. I'm going to be getting out of some of my Ford. Remember, I was trying to get out, and then I canceled it when we got that new power generation sort of model that they were trying to do there, the in-home power generation, something like that, something similar to what Tesla has. But anyways, up to that's what I believe the story was, up to 1450. Did wick up to 15 that day and then came right back down in and made everyone feel silly for not taking out some profits. So I don't know how you took that, whether or not it was an option play or whether or not you're just talking about making a little bit of cash there on the individual stock. But I would say get out a half for sure the next time we even get into 1425. I mean, you don't necessarily have to wait for 1450. That's going to be a good spot. I'm debating, honestly, getting out of Ford. And just, like we said, we bought some ARM. Like we bought some ARM 2 weeks ago at 201, and it's at 290 now. There's a lot of names that are getting pretty frothy out, so I think Ford is potentially one of those names as well. And then I think hold on, right? We talked about playing with house money. Play with house money, then the rest is profit all the way up. You can go to zero, right? And you're fine. So we'll see if we can double up our position there. Get out, take out half if you want to at 1450. I do think you got a good one there with Ford. Good change, and I don't know. So we'll see about Ford. And it's not so reliant on this whole AI hype, right? That's another thing why I think a lot of traders are liking Ford these days.
You know what can be good too in a space? You can just not be the bad guys in this. Like you can just, Ford is not Stellantis. That's a positive, right? Like it can come down to that. It doesn't. You don't have to be great. It's just there's always going to be money going into every sector to a certain extent. Like there's always somebody that's like, well, this analyst like this sector. Well, just be the good place in the sector, and sometimes that can be enough. It doesn't have to be crazy or parabolic. On the rail, Rocket Lab thoughts seems oversold. Well, they give them a day to be able to react to the offering today. You know, it's down. When we came in this morning, Rocket Lab was down 6.5%, 7%. It's down 6.5%, 7%. It hasn't done anything. There was a little bit of a bounce. It came right back in. This is where we were at the open. The same low got put in. Look at the accumulation down here. So I would say, at least for now, it seems like the market's absorbed this offering. You pull this up on like the daily chart or even like a 15. Maybe the 15 is not going to be good enough here. The 60 is probably going to look better for this. Sometimes you got to make a judgment. Because I want to show this boom up and then the consolidation. And you pull this up on like a 60-minute. So they had an offering and are holding up here, you say? That looks fine to me, but give it a couple of days. This is no different from like a short report or earnings name. Like you just had a quote-unquote catalyst, which is threaten the theme, which is that they're gonna raise some money with some dilution and let the market digest it. If the answer is it's still holding 124 come Monday morning, nothing about the uptrend is fading. Even if it's holding 115. Like these are reasonable pullbacks. Rocket Lab was $80 a week and a half ago. It was $60 in March. So this is kind of a nothing burger. Give it some days to settle. That's a pretty big parabolic move. It could pull back into $100 and still be on schedule and talking about an overall uptrend on like a weekly or so. So yeah, Rocket Lab, let it settle down. Not breaking the low that got made on the first push down on an offering is usually a good sign, right? Like whatever the news hits and then you make the low in the pre-market, if you manage to hold that for a couple of days, you're good to go. The same way you see that with like a short seller report. If someone drops a short seller report's even better though when it happens. Like if the low that gets made on the news of a short seller report, if that doesn't break in a couple of days, it's almost always a good long. The one that comes to mind was 2 years ago in Block. I think it was still Square back then. And that was just gold. Like it dropped, held that same level, held it again, and it just free money for like 20% or something.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it was one of those easy ones.
We had SoFi just had a release there from
they got a cover.
Whoever it was.
And if it doesn't go lower, it'll hold support a couple of days. Well, they're going to cover, and then when they cover their position, they probably still win because they've been holding it for a while, right? Like, who's dumb enough to put out a short report when they don't already have a position, and then they're gonna take the position after. I don't think anybody makes their money that way in that business. It's always get the position, put the report out when it's maybe at a key point or after it's dropped a little bit, look for the exit liquidity and rinse and repeat. And it's legal. I'm not saying it's bad. Like, there's no law against it.
I mean, everybody knows they do it.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Like,
watch out for that. It's not like, I think SoFi did actually come back up into those levels and then sold off after that as well. So you did have your opportunity to get out if you didn't, if you wanted to on that play. Yeah, so ARM is closing at the highs. So there you go. With the market kind of doing its own thing right now, you see ARM definitely reaching new pinnacles of 294. Tomorrow, that most likely will open up over 300, I would think. So, you know, there it goes again, ARM to the upside. I'm now just going to tap out of Microsoft if it does break back above 420. So we'll go 420.21. I was going to average in to it up top, but we've been just covering down in and around here. We'll cover a little bit more if we get back into those 90s again, but this is what I'm doing, just sitting here, going to see if we can cover some Microsoft down here in the 90s. Again, trying to avoid that imbalance drama, you know, because if it comes out and all of a sudden Microsoft is a huge buy, which coming into a Friday, I don't know what this market's going to do. I feel like if there is something resolved, we'll probably find out more about it tonight and then probably get a tweet tomorrow morning, or who knows what the president will wind up doing. I just don't really like it for overnight holds when there's so much randomness in there. So we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening. Right now, we only have NASDAQ is not showing up here, only New York names. So QBTS is a buy. There's CRM with a little bit, and we can just click on them and see. These imbalances really aren't going to do anything to the stock until it's actually released. So it doesn't matter that much unless there is something pretty big. Now QBTS. Well, QBTS has done
it's done
100 million.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, that 1.4.
Yeah, usual. That's the thing. Under usual volume, that would be a decent.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a baby.
Yeah, not today. It's kind of a nothing burger because QBTS is likely doing its best volume since like earnings day, or maybe even more than earnings. I didn't bother. I mean, you knew it was super in play. Yeah, earnings and post earnings are the only two times that it would have been more than this volume. The highest volume candle in a month and a half. Or so. So QBTS, worth the radar. PCG's not. NEO, that's an early look sell. What's it doing? Literally nothing. So it's not moving. CRM, CRM got like a drag up on, like it got dragged up with the rest of the IGV when ServiceNow was looking pretty good. And that didn't do any follow through. CRM's still got a problem. Like ServiceNow was so much better. Hopefully it didn't actually reverse and this looks pretty terrible. I don't think, ServiceNow was not split adjusted. ServiceNow much better. Like it's making a nice little breakout consolidation above the 50-period moving average. You look at what's going on with the IGV as well. And this is not to bag on CRM. I mean, it's going to end up bagging on CRM. You look at the IGV, hold the 50, continuing to trend higher, and then you look under the hood. It's like, well, who in the space is not participating? Tries to go up, fails the 50 period, and right back into the downtrend. That's how you can identify who's a winner or a loser in a space, right? ETF goes up, everyone tries to break, one continues, one doesn't. You know, you got to try to pick out the better names in the space. And there was some conversation about Dell in the chat. Neil, you got to get in Dell. The only thing I own a lot of tech stuff. I only ever talk about Dell in reference to SMCI. Like I don't know that I want to add more exposure to the compute game at this point. Like I got enough stuff to worry about if that could pull back 30, 40%. And Dell is fantastic. I would just say, why does anyone ever want to own SMCI when they can own Dell? Like look at that chart. But if you own a few two names at the market highs that look like this, you know, you're just more like buying another one when is it breaking out here of a channel maybe to the high? Yeah, possibly. I don't know that I would want to get into it up here. That was one that you need to pick on when it was early, right? And again, you can't go wrong. You should have a couple of names. Almost everybody's got a few stories like this. Like there's so many charts that have that kind of a move. And the reason I say buy this versus SMCI. Look at SMCI. I mean, come on. If you managed to pick the low, congratulations. But with Dell, you didn't have to pick any lows. You just join a trend up. Always try to find the better name in the space.
So we, of course, we were able to get long ARM, and we missed out on IREN. I mean, IREN, we were literally bidding right there. I think we must have been bidding 45s. and we never got filled, and now it's all the way to the upside. But we did, however, have better luck getting filled on CEG, Constellation. So this is another name that I'm into now, and hoping for bigger returns, up 1.89%. We did first we got in before we left, so I think we bidding 300, and then we were able to, thankfully, and sometimes it works out like this, buy that dip into these levels, and that's what I was talking about not getting. I mean, that's in ARM it didn't work because I only got in X amount at that 201 because we were waiting to see if it dipped down. Same type of thing there. We only got into X amount there. It does dip down. We do take advantage of some of these levels. So yeah, CEG, Constellation working out, but not as well. Remember when I was asking about all those names that NVIDIA was invested in or had deals with? That was just, I think, on Monday. Now it's Thursday, or Tuesday. I wasn't here Monday. We were talking about that on Tuesday, and Adair sort of called up that little chart there. It was coherent. There was some IREN. We talked about NVIDIA with Intel. Yeah, because the question I asked was not exactly the right one. She found us the filing for
there was
NVIDIA.
the 13Fs.
But it was deals that were made, right? And I mean, for me, the missed opportunity was, again, hey, we wanted to get Corning the very first day that was announced, and that popped through. And then again, just sitting here like an idiot, like I do most days, you could see right here, came right back into that level that when it popped up here, I was like, well, if it comes back in, we want to get some Corning. And then boom, that comes right back in and we don't worry about it. So this is on my shopping list. Although I am very much in this whole AI race right now. I'm pretty much fully invested all over the place. So I don't, if this ever does fall on its face, we do lose some sleep and have to figure out where some of our outs will be, because again, nobody ever sells at the top, so you got to do some of that. And even if you do, you're talking about, I'm taking out 10%, I'm taking out 15%. Well,
overall,
you're still holding the whole freaking bag.
Here's the worst part.
When it comes back down.
When you hate yourself when you take out the bulk. Because the only place that I didn't trim in the 10% range was, guess what stock? AMD is the only one. I've owned AMD for years. I'm when this one gets to the top, and obviously not the tops that we're at right now, I wouldn't be saying this, that was the one that I took out 80% of them. Okay, I want some cash. Because I look at it this way, AMD, Intel, running crazy because the CPUs are back. Okay.
Right, of course.
Well, do I need to I got to sell one of them, and Intel, I just, kind of,
even Intel,
the foundry and all that stuff I like better. So Intel is more of a 10% trim. Sell a bunch of AMD and hate myself for it. But that's always the case until it's not. You just have to make the best decision you can.
That's right.
And try to overall buy it. Overall, you just want to be holding the bulk. That's the best part about it, overall. You just make sure you stay in the game and stay the course. You get too cute and you'll always hate yourself. 2.5 minutes till the imbalances. The only one still over $1 million is QBTS. Everything else that we showed you, there was a couple of names, PCG was pretty big. QBTS is staying a buy of 1.8, and INQ is there for 800,000. Nothing else stands out. No cool Amex stocks to watch. I mean, a buy and balance on GDX for 750,000 is really not going to excite anybody. That needs to be in the millions for sure. In EEM, what's EEM?
Emerging markets.
Oh yeah, it's just emerging. Yeah, that's also way too small. So the Amex will have to wait another day. Apparently Boyle was okay, but the other place that possibly some bank gets made would be when you see some of these names pop up on the imbalance, make a little bit of a push. They're good for 5 minutes or so, and you try to bank. But there hasn't been one in a while on the Amex, I don't think. It's been a minute.
Oh, you know what I want to check out was IoT, Internet of Things, Samsara. Okay, not really doing anything, boo. I hadn't checked on this in a minute, hoping that it starts to break out a bit. Some of the lower, some of the names that you guys may not be familiar with that I'm involved with. We have IoT. You guys are all now familiar with BigBear AI. I'm sorry about that, but you guys are all familiar with that one, BBAI, IoT, and then the other little baby one is Oscar. So, these are the ones that I'm kind of in that we're just kind of down 6%. Okay, Oscar. And this is another one of those examples, right? Just rips up to the upside there. You don't know how far you're going to go, but still matches out to this high. We actually got out of Oscar a little bit here the last time, and now once I see this here again, I'm actually thinking about doing it one more time here on OSCR. And what I think, what's up to, who was that in the chat? Adina. Yeah, what I was trying to say is, dollar cost averaging down, now I think this is maybe what you wanted me to finish my point on, was dollar cost averaging down is one thing, but you should always think about dollar cost averaging up. you know, and then, you know, if you do wind up getting out here around 24, 25, you would say, okay, when do you start feeling bad? Maybe you start feeling bad once it breaks back above there. So let's just say you got out of everything here at 24, 24.50. I don't know. You played this little top wick there. Well, if it breaks that level right there, that's 25.72. So you can actually buy back in whatever number you got out right there. And all you'd be doing is sacrificing right there about $1.40, not even, to get back in. And instead, you didn't get out anything, potentially, like me. And now, instead of risking $1.40 to the top side, you've now given up $3 back down in. So if you think there's a level, like if I honestly think, okay, here we go, the imbalances are now out. Let's just switch over to NVIDIA for my guy over there, Wolf. Yeah, so it's a nice downside play there for NVIDIA. We could have a quick little check there. Rigetti, of course, it's a buy. How come I'm not long at 1850? Oh, yeah, didn't follow my own stupid rule. Microsoft, of course, it has to be a buy. You know, the only name that I'm in right now has to be a buy. So there it goes to the upside. Of course, NVIDIA is a sell for you, Wolf. I'm sorry about that. Wish these were opposite for sure, because I know that you're in that one. Google's like, come on, as if Microsoft's the only one there. That's crazy. Google's also a sell to the downside. I don't see any Apple on here, anything like that. There's our Corning as well. I'm going to take advantage of this little bit of a move down now in Microsoft, put a bit out in the 30s and take that. We almost got ran through our level there at 420. So watch out now. Microsoft comes out as a big buy, and of course your boy is short. So yeah, but NVIDIA is okay. We're going to empty out the clip here on that one too. We just got a nice NVIDIA out at 220.11 there. So that's $2. So good day for sure on NVIDIA. Good day on everything. Not a great day on Microsoft for me. So we'll have to battle that back.
Too bad Rigetti didn't even move on that imbalance. 5.5 million, that's actually significant, but it moved. I mean, look, you know what? 20 cents is, in a general sense, on Rigetti, fantastic, because that's 1%. But the day that it's up 27%, that doesn't really stand out that much. But probably because there's so many people that might be profit-taking this much. On any other day, 5.5 million on Rigetti, in the imbalance, you'd probably try to punch long and take a shot at it. At least until 355 when these things start to pair off. You already said Softy and NVIDIA are going to be in there, and then Corning. Was there GLW in here for anyone out there? That's right through the highs. Not significant, but a buy imbalance when you're making, is that an all-time high? Or is it just, it's the daily high? No, it's not at an all-time high yet. But it is on a daily high. So on the daily high, into the imbalances, that 355 or maybe 358, just watch out if it pairs. Like if you're riding something like this, literally at the high of the day on the buy imbalance, the flip can have it smash back through. FXI, man, these Chinese stocks kind of stunk. And the reason I say they stunk, like Alibaba had good news. Released a new chip. Everyone's all excited. Well, no one's excited apparently because they didn't even care, and it gapped down. Nice trend back up from the bottom. That's what I was playing on NIO, but it didn't have an imbalance. I didn't punch out. I just sat on the offer. Eventually, it's like it's not moving. It's not breaking, so it won't stop out. I just sort of sat on the offer and eventually took the fill. Now, sometimes you can wait all day for like one trend break. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And the one that didn't even set up has got to be, you can play trend lines in every direction. You can wait for it to break, but the other side is you can take a breakout with your out at the trend line. I don't think, it's not even a trade that I actually make, but every now and then in the afternoon, you look at it, that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times it crests up to that high and then breaks out. And your risk to reward there, probably about 20 cents. 20 pennies R to R. There's no obvious place where you're looking to take it out outside of like this top up here at 25.5 on the daily, but that's where it went. So you, like the one target that you would look at is pretty much exactly where it went to. I think that's the kind of thing to put into the toolbox. If you have this long of an upward trend, fine, it can break, but if it just goes into the flat top, take the flat top break. The risk, it's literally the same risk in the other direction. There's no difference between the trend break with the out at the high and the entry on the break of the high and the break of the trend. The only thing different is one, there's a line that's VWAP that you know where you're trying to take it to. The other one, you have to find it out, but who cares? You're going with the trend instead of against it. So that's a setup that I should be adding if you're looking at trends.
All right, man. 50% in a week. I'm going to take something out on ARM right now. So I'm just going to, up to 297. We're going to reach out of this one and take it out and buy our kid a new hockey stick. Well, she doesn't need one, so I won't do that. We're just going to find that in our account and just take some out. This is a name here where I don't think I'll feel bad getting out of a little bit of this one. We'll put the money in our pocket, just like we do in trading here. Wow. Yeah, that's up quite nicely right now, up 47% in the account right now on ARM. And it's just been too easy. And sometimes when things are too easy, definitely. Okay.
June 320 calls where you could sell. And someone was saying you can get literally 12, 15.
Yeah, I'm not that smart. I'm just going to, okay, by the way, right now, buy. We're now $2 in the money on Microsoft, down in there to 417, so we just covered that. That was a good one, man, making money both ways here. But I am going to get out a little bit of ARM right now. I see how many shares we have. So, yeah, let's get out of maybe 20% or so of this right now, and I hope that it continues to go higher,
I was saying covered calls is what I was sort of saying.
Yeah, that's all good. Like I said, I'm not smart enough. So I'm going to do that right here. I'm just going to get out basically where it is now. Let me see where that was, ARM. And we won't trade it, so we will be able to get out of this one, and we'll put in a limit, and we'll figure that out. But I'm just going to enter this one on ARM. Why not just 296? We'll just get out right now, and we'll figure that out on ARM. Okay, so a little bit of a trade there. Hey, man, look, I really do hope that this name continues to run, and we are able to make some more money on this one. So there it is. We'll push review order, and we will get out of ARM right around there. We will slide to accept it, and there we go. So, looks like we'll get 297 or so there on ARM. So, yeah, man, we put that in our pocket. We'll take that 40% or so on ARM, and then we'll work on that and hope that tomorrow we even get to 320, and then we can celebrate that one even more.
If you sell covered calls, you're not, like they're getting called away. If it gets to 320, then you've sold your 100 shares.
I don't care about that, yeah.
It's just more that like a covered call gives you a way that if you're thinking about selling, it gets you a little bit more upside, get paid, and then if it goes up to 320, it's like you would have sold anyways. So if in case it comes back, it's another way to lock in profit on something going up.
297.04 is what we got. So there it is, man. We do lock in that profit there, and we'll now wait to see what winds up happening with ARM. As I said, hopefully tomorrow is a brand new day, and we'll be able to see a higher bid on ARM there. Someone in the chat was like, tomorrow everything's going to crash. Well, if it does, it does. That's why I take a little bit out, and I'll buy back ARM tomorrow. No, I won't. On that one. But there's Microsoft. That's why, man, when that flushes, this is the whole craziest thing. I'm sitting in Microsoft. I almost have nothing left. Sitting in Microsoft because of these prints. Like it came right back in there into 418, then there's 417, and there's 417.50. This is why we always caution end of day, on these imbalances. Like you never know what you could get. So all of a sudden right there, we turn our frown a little bit upside down there. I'm losing my voice, so that's why I'm having some tea right there. And I have a game tonight. We'll be out on the diamond until 10:30 tonight. And it's like right now, it's 14 degrees right now. Ooh, but my car is at the desired temperature. That's good. Right there. And I was looking.
QBTS grew to 2.5.
Okay, maybe it's starting to go then.
Rigetti paired off. Half of it, and QBTS grew to 2.5 million to the buy side. The quantum trade. And IonQ was a big buy and bounce, but it's not there anymore. Quantum was definitely the one today. You're not telling you anything you don't know. Like that was the only horse you needed to back. ARM's been great. Marvell. Oh, that's right. Marvell was the other side. I haven't looked at this. 2 minutes left to go. And remember Marvell ran on the Microsoft story early today? I hadn't even looked back to see what it did. I guess, because Microsoft pulled back, so I guess ARM just pulled back. Not ARM. ARM's on the brain here. Marvell pulled back with that Microsoft story. Interesting. I thought maybe it would have a little bit more strength than Softy on the dip for obvious reasons, but I guess it did not. See how that one fares tomorrow. Let news matriculate for a couple of days and then come back to it. Let's go to Adair, and 90 seconds till the close. Still making fresh highs, QBTS on that imbalance.
I'll be quick, guys. Seeing a report from Reuters saying that a senior Iranian source has said no deal has been reached yet, but gaps have narrowed. So first we heard that we were going to get a deal announced today. Then we heard we're close to a deal. Now we heard no deal has been reached, but there's at least a narrowing of the gaps here between Iran and the U.S. Again, reported by Reuters. Back to you.
Algo one, yeah. Thanks, there, Adara. Appreciate it. But
all right. We were talking about QBTS there, bouncing around a little bit. on those imbalances. And yeah, we can just have a quick look here into the close. Yeah, there's QBTS twice. Oh yeah, because one's a broker feed. Okay, ION Q, trying to go through, and these is all, there's really nothing on the NASDAQ here anymore to look at. NVDA, QS, and nothing. So they all start to pair off. So, all right, I'm bidding 11s here on Microsoft. So we'll probably get that. There you go. Okay, we get it. So we'll actually put a bid at 15s there, cover some softies. So that was good, man. I mean, all these shorts, since we've been back on the air with you guys, printed off. So that was really good. So we have a successful trade there in softy at the end of the day. And thank you, everybody, for watching us one more time today. We had a great, great midday. We want to thank everybody for all of those super chats. That was huge. Thank you to Joe and Sharif, who both are out of here, but they had a great job. There it is, 7.5% down for Walmart. And apparently tomorrow, someone's ordering fish and chips. So that's going to be excited. Thanks to Dara for recommending that one. 3, 2, and 1. We're closed. So despite, whatever happened to our fake bell right there? Normally
we don't do that anymore?
I don't know. Maybe it's... we didn't hit it that time. That's okay.
Ding, ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding. The bell is now closed. The NASDAQ goes up. Oh, wow, look at this, the same. NASDAQ 0.16, ES 0.17. So, they danced around a little bit today. Did absolutely nothing. Thank you for staying with us this afternoon. We pretty much barcoded the whole way. Got a couple of different headlines in there. Thanks to Dara for bringing that last one up there about Iran and Strait of Hormuz still going to be a problem. We did get that nacho reference. Nothing... I don't know what it stands for. Something about
no chance. Not a chance Hormuz opens.
Chance.
So I first saw this on CNBC a couple weeks ago. They didn't create it either. It's just something that's been going around the internet, much like how Taco started. So again, not a chance Hormuz opens.
Right. Okay. I was looking for the A there. Not a chance. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, it's just Weeble time. I mean, I think that's going to be the one that most people. I didn't see anybody else put anything else in the chat there. There it goes. The market's closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There it is. So from now on, we're going to ring the bell at 4:01:11 every single day. Just give you guys a little bit of a, just let it go.
Yeah,
and just 4:01:11. We're actually hearing rumors that it's 4:01:11. Those the 2 1s there, 3 1s at the end. Potentially that's
good as any time.
Yeah, that's apparently what's going to happen moving forward. So okay, man, it's Weeble time. Good luck to everybody that's on that. Ross Stores is just out, so that's moving around again. Here we can look at that ROST. We did see TJX moving around a little bit the other day as well, and then Walmart yesterday downside, Ross upside right there up to 227. So again, man, yeah, thank you so much for watching all the super chats. There goes Ross again up to 230 right now. So that's a nice one, going higher and higher there. So okay, Ross Stores, ROSS, symbol ROST. Yeah, but it's ROSS. It's
some retail can actually go up, apparently.
So yes, there it is. Okay, good day. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Thanks to Derek for everything. Thanks to the guys. Oh yeah, thanks. There's 240 now for Ross. Okay, it's starting to go. Thanks to everybody. Thanks for me and Fabian, Tiffany, everybody that's back there. Andre, thanks to everybody for helping out with us today. We're back tomorrow at 8 a.m. Make sure you join us. Ciao till then.